Got some pictures coming your way here. Oklahoma. Bedlam's pretty special. And again, a year ago, nearly 1,500 combined yards, a Bedlam record 114 points. The Sooners held on to win 62-52. Are we going to get a scoring game like that today?
I hope not. It sounds like a 4-hour game that Coach Mack was talking about. Jeez, play some defense, please.
I think we'll get it, but it's going to be a fun game to watch because these two don't like each other at all.
Mike Gundy, by the way, he's been fantastic through his career, but 2-11 in the Bedlam series.
Let's not forget, Oklahoma's still playing for a playoff spot.
Absolutely.
In the state of Oklahoma, they've waited 371 days for 6 little letters, but those letters are all in caps. This is Bedlam. Get ready. 4 quarters of mayhem coming your way. College football on ABC is presented by Jared. It's the 113th meeting between the Sooners of Oklahoma and the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. The Pokes can crush the hopes of the 6th-ranked team in the nation. Oklahoma fighting to finish in the top 4 and another opportunity to play for a national championship. Still to be determined. Now these players, they run out of this tunnel for every game in Norman, but this is different. This feels different. No substitute for Bedlam. And with that, we say, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome indeed to Bedlam. With Brian Greasy, I'm Steve Levy. This is the in-state rivalry that seemingly every year has national implications. This year is no different. Oklahoma State 2 weeks ago knocked off the 6th team in the country. Today they'll try Oklahoma. The Sooners, you know about that offense. They're averaging 53 points per game over the last 5. It's how they light up the scoreboard, though, Grease.
It is. I mean, they have talent with Kyler Murray, Marquise Brown, C.D. Lamb, but it's the most explosive offense you could argue outside of Alabama here at Oklahoma, and it's a lot of the ingenuity of Lincoln Riley. You're going to play against TCU a couple of weeks ago, Gary Patterson. You know what you're going to get. You insert Marquise Brown in the backfield as a running back. The speed that he has matched up on an inside linebacker, these kinds of things from Lincoln Riley get you quality looks. Again in that game, you plays that start out the same that end up looking different. Take a look at C.D. Lamb. Looks like he's going to come on a shallow cross along with the back. The corner is looking at that, thinking, okay, if he's going to go on a shallow cross, I can go deep. But it's just a little bit of a variation from Lincoln Riley to put C.D. Lamb up on the corner route. You see how wide open this gets. This is a la Sean McVay with the L.A. Rams. These kinds of matchups in college football with the speed that they have on offense is why they're so explosive.
They are the number 2 offense in college football. Oklahoma State has the number 10 offense, and they've got a quarterback who waited 9 semesters to get his first start. He's affectionately known, Todd McShay, as the corn dog.
That's right, Taylor Cornelius, Steve. And when you look at him, he's a big guy, 6'6", 235 pounds, really good athlete. The teammates say he's the best basketball player of all the guys on the team. And I've seen this year development throughout the season, big-time arm. I've even talked to NFL scouts that think he could, despite the lack of experience, wind up being a late-round pick or a priority free agent and get a shot at the NFL.
We will watch for him and a whole lot of points coming up this afternoon. Mike Gundy, just 2-11 in the Bedlam series as head coach of the Cowboys, looks to put the hurt on Lincoln Riley and the Oklahoma Sooners today. In meeting number 112 in Bedlam, 1 year ago, the story was Marquise Brown. 9 catches, 265 yards, and 2 scores. Set the school record for single-game receiving yards for Oklahoma. Doing the job, Justice Hill had a monster game, and then it was Trey Sermon who sealed the deal with a touchdown with 42 seconds left. How about 62-52 in the highest scoring Bedlam in history. Justice Hill went off in that game despite the loss. 30 carries, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns. This is one of them. He posted this on Monday, another day in the office, Bedlam, and then he points out turf fans, kids, little boys. What are we doing, Grease?
Yeah, you know, these rivalry games, you don't need any more board material, and Justice Hill certainly gave it to Oklahoma. But he's a confident character.
Yeah, in your day, it was a bulletin board, and these days, it's Instagram.
Yeah.
Social media, everybody. Get involved. As will we. Oklahoma State has won the toss. They have deferred. We'll see that explosive Sooners offense to begin. On a gorgeous day with temperatures in the mid-40s, clear and beautiful, just as a second weekend in November should be. Jake McClure has it on the tee at the 35. And he'll kick it away. Trey Brown is back deep for Oklahoma, and he will take a knee. When you ask people about Kyler Murray, they all say the skill set. We've never seen anybody like this before, except...
Well, you know, I was racking my brain trying to find somebody he reminds me of, and the only thing I can come up with, the one guy in history, is Michael Vick. And I had a lot of experience playing against Michael Vick in the NFC South for a number of years, but we remember him in college. This looks a lot like Kyler Murray. The improvisation, the acceleration, and the speed. We all remember this run against Florida State back in '99, but that's the only guy, Steve, that I can compare Kyler Murray's talent to.
We will watch for that all afternoon. Here come the Sooners. First down and 10 for the 25. Trey Sermon had a monster game a week ago, and he's got the ball, and he's got a big gain on first down. Turns the edge, and he's down the sideline. Trey Sermon, and that's how you start a football game. Kenneth Edison Magruder ran him out, but not until Sermon ripped off 60.
Right off the bat, Oklahoma State defensively breakdown in their gaps. The corner is responsible. It's A.J. Green. He had a play like this last week, gave up a long touchdown run, and it happens on the first snap of the game here against Oklahoma.
Sermon rushed for 26 times for 206 yards and 3 scores a week ago, including a 20 and 30-yard touchdown to put the game away. On the ground, it's Murray, the quarterback, trying to make some people miss. Down to the 6. Again, it's Edison Magruder on the stop.
Take a look at the right side of the screen. You're going to see the corner, A.J. Green. He's running down with Marquise Brown, but you got to keep your eyes in the backfield. And the way that Oklahoma wanted to start this football game, they all talk about Marquise Brown and CeeDee Lamb and Kyler Murray in the passing game. This offense is predicated on physical downhill run with this offensive line.
Murray gets 6. They're inside the 10 on 2nd and 4. CeeDee Lamb in motion. It's Sermon. Tripped up just shy of the goal line. Trey Sermon with that game last week, reminding everybody he's the guy. Kennedy Brooks has provided a few sparks. And now we find out, Grease, there's nobody else. It is Sermon and Brooks, and that's about it. 2 healthy scholarship runners available for Oklahoma today. We were just informed prior to kick, no TJ Pledger today. Of course, they already lost Marcellus Sutton. Rodney Anderson went down in game number 2. That's Murray, top of your screen. Wildcat. Sermon will take the direct snap and lower his shoulder into the end zone for a touchdown. And that's how this one starts. All on the legs of Trey Sermon. 6-0 Sooners.
Games are so much about emotion in the first quarter of these games, and when you want to take over control of the game, if you're Oklahoma, do it with this offensive line up front. That was all on the ground for 7 points to start the game.
Here's Mr. Automatic, Austin Seibert on the kick. The engine for Oklahoma. We know about all the skill players, but the fellas up front don't get enough love.
You're going to love watching these guys play in this game today. Take a look. These guys up front, Drew Samaya, Cody Ford. This is a couple of weeks ago against TCU. Each one of these guys on a touchdown run is locked up on their man. You see Bobby Evans with a pancake. Cody Ford's driving his guys 5 yards into the end zone. They finish better than any offensive line in college football. They are downright nasty up front, and it's the reason why this Oklahoma offense is so explosive.
4 plays, 75 yards. Took a whole minute 44 off the clock. That's how you welcome your rival to your stadium.
No question. You see, that's their offensive line coach, Bill Bedenbaugh, who has orchestrated this offensive line. Really, the key for them up front has been their center, Creed Humphrey. He's been kind of the glue that has kept them together. He's the new guy. He's talking to Coach Bedenbaugh right there. One of the more talented centers in all of college football, and his head coach thinks he's one of the most talented on this team.
Chuba Hubbard is back for Oklahoma State. We'll see how the Cowboys can answer. They'll start from the 25-yard line. Taylor Cornelius, just about like everybody else on this field, is a great athlete in high school. But the thing about him is he really waited his turn. Mike Gundy and the staff appreciate that. 3 years sitting behind Mason Rudolph, and now when he gets his opportunity, top 10 in passing in the country. Impressive.
Yeah, you can do nothing but respect Taylor Cornelius. And, you know, I was in a very similar position. I had to wait my turn in Michigan. Didn't play until I was later in my career. And this is a very loyal and dedicated young man. And now he has a chance in the biggest game of his life against his rival to make his mark. And he's already down 7 early.
Comes out throwing and able to complete to Dylan Stoner. That's 22 consecutive games with at least a catch for Stoner. They've got the first down. Cowboys on the move.
You're going to see a lot. Mostly this offense is throwing the football with Cornelius. Obviously, Justice Hill is a talented young back, but they got to loosen up this defense. I don't think that they need to be in a big hurry. I think anytime they can protect their defense and keep Kyler Murray off the field is a good thing.
Go with the Army strategy. On the ground, Justice Hill and nothing doing. Amani Bledsoe had a monster game a week ago. Was in the middle of everything for that Sooners defense. That was the game last week. Beat Texas Tech 51-46 in what was another wild game. And Oklahoma State, they come off a difficult loss at Baylor. Lost by 4 when they had a 10-point lead with less than 6 minutes to play. That was a real kick in the butt for Oklahoma State. 2nd down and 9. Here's Cornelius. Looks strong in the pocket, fires across the middle, and Tylan Wallace could not hang on. That would have been a big gain. There are a couple of flags on the field.
Tylan Wallace should have caught this football, but look, he takes 1, 2, 3 steps, and then Robert Barnes comes up and hits him. And that's just the emotion of a rivalry game. And we started out with Justice Hill in the Instagram post, and Robert Barnes was one of the guys he was calling out, and he get the best of him.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 20 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Personal fouls and penalties were an issue for both of these squads 1 week ago. Oklahoma was fortunate to win their game a week ago despite all the penalties they had, and both coaches made that front page headline news talking about the penalties last week.
Look at that, 12 for Oklahoma State, and that was the reason, the number 1 reason they lost to Baylor, gave up those points in the 4th quarter.
So the Cowboys are bailed out by the penalty. Cornelius taking a shot down the field, right back to Wallace, and he's got him for the score. Tylan Wallace. They're going to mark him short of the goal line. We were going to give him a 50-yard score. Looks like it might just be a 49-yard catch. Let's see, the knee drops.
The field of the runner short of the goal line is under further review.
Grease, I know where you're going here. You have to love the confidence of the quarterback to go right back to him after the drop, too.
No, there's no question, and that looks like that was a good call. That knee was down. The football did not cross the plane there. It's a great look at it from right down the line. But what a great play call there from Oklahoma State. You have the drop, as you mentioned, then Barnes gives you the opportunity to take that shot from midfield. And Tylan Wallace, if you haven't seen this kid play football, he is one of the more outstanding receivers in all of college football. You see his over 1,000 yards already on the season. That's 4th all college football, and is an unbelievable target for Tyler Cornelius.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed, short of the goal line, first down, Oklahoma State.
You're going to see this time and time again. Oklahoma State attacking the weakness of Oklahoma's defense, which is that secondary. And anytime that Tylan Wallace is matched up man-to-man, whether it's against Trey Bound, Norwood, or Motley, they're going to take their shots down the field.
All right, so first and goal from inside the 1. They got 3 of those cowboy backs, as they call it, for Oklahoma State. On the ground. Justice Hill will get credit for the touchdown. 9 snaps into this year's edition of Bedlam. And we have 2 touchdowns.
We had 114 points last year, partner. You better get ready.
Let's go.
And doing it different ways. Oklahoma all on the ground, and Oklahoma State all through the air. I think that's what you're going to see a lot of today.
Here's Matt Amendola for the extra point. Kicks it through. As you mentioned, first play from scrimmage, Trey Sermon turns the corner and rips off 60 yards. Led to a Sooners touchdown. And then it's Cornelius to Wallace all the way down the field for the Cowboys. Bedlam indeed.
ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Veterans Day tomorrow. Call this Veterans Weekend. Hopefully some of you will enjoy a day on Monday. Celebrate Veterans Day week, if you will. Can't thank all the brave people, men and women, protecting us in the past, the present, and in the future. 7-7 early on here, and if you look at, you're interested in such things, the Cowboys come in, let's say 3 touchdown underdogs in this one.
Yeah, just about, but they've had experience in this role. You see, since 2001, they've been 18-plus point dogs 3 times, and they have won 2 of those games, both here in Norman, 1 under Les Miles, and then obviously in 2014 under Mike Gundy. So they know how to put this upset together.
First down and 10 out at the 25-yard line following the touchback. Kyler Murray has yet to throw a pass today. On the young afternoon, that's CeeDee Lamb in motion. On the ground at Trey Sermon. Why wouldn't you? Tries the left side for 4. Malcolm Rodriguez came up to make the stop. So listen, you know, this is eye-popping elsewhere. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised by these numbers, the early scores, this kind of game, this kind of rivalry, this conference.
No,
it's almost redundant.
Shootout, yeah.
Here's Kyler Murray, all sorts of time. Lofts one down the sideline and is caught. Carson Meyer hauls it in. Rodriguez was all over him. And Meyer, the 5th-year senior from Tulsa, makes the grab for 31.
Oklahoma only has 3 starters on this team from the state of Oklahoma. You think that Carson Meyer knows what this rivalry is all about to make that kind of play from his fullback position? What a catch.
Pretty nice throw for Murray on his first toss of the game. And they are across midfield, already at the Oklahoma State 40. First down and 10. Murray to throw again. Underneath to CeeDee Lamb. And he is upended inside the 30, dropped by A.J. Green.
See CeeDee Lamb, they're going to try to get him the ball as much as they possibly can. He's the bigger of the 2 target wide receivers of Marquise Brown, but that's just a shallow cross. Get him the football, let him run.
Right back to Sermon. Not much doing there. Justin Phillips makes the stop. Phillips, the leader on that Oklahoma State defense, really taking the place of Darian Daniels, who is injured.
Yeah, Phillips needs to lead this defense today. There is no way around this offensive line. You're going to have to fit it up, be in your gap. You're going to have to get off blocks because guys like Cody Ford and Bobby Evans pulling around on that last play, you have to make them miss and get in the backfield and be disruptive.
Second down and 10 now. Just inside the 30. Here comes some blitz. Murray trying to get out of there. The escapability, throwing on the run and completing. It's Sermon out of the backfield on the receiving end. Jordan Brailford, they love to move him around, trying to get to the quarterback. Oklahoma State #1 of the country in sacks. Not this time.
You're going to see the blitz come from the outside. Brailford, he gets there, but you got to get him on the ground. Just because you get in the backfield doesn't mean that you get Kyler Murray, and that looks exactly like Michael Vick. Running to his left, making that play. Very hard to defend.
Sermon out, Kennedy Brooks in. Lamb again in motion, top of your screen. It's Kennedy Brooks, the ball carrier. And he is dragged down shy of the goal line. Great tackle, great individual tackle by Justin Phillips to prevent the touchdown.
There's so much pressure when Oklahoma starts to run their counter with both the guard and tackle coming around. As you see, Trey Sermon comes off, and that's very, very costly for OU because of the fact that they've lost 3 running backs out in this game. One for the season, Rodney Anderson and Marcellus Sutton, but not out there today is TJ Pledger. So right now, Kennedy Brooks, the only healthy back. 2nd and goal
inside the 1. Kennedy Brooks making it look easy. His 7th rushing touchdown of the season. And Oklahoma back on top. This is an offense that has scored 50 points 5 times. Scored 49 against UCLA. Seems like a long time ago. The last time they've scored 50 points in 4 consecutive games, you got to go all the way back. It's not that far away. It's only 3 years ago. I mean, we should get used to this stuff from Oklahoma.
Well, last week couldn't have gone any worse for Lincoln Riley to start the Texas Tech game. They threw 2 interceptions. They were down 14-0. In this game, they've done it on the ground and now through the air with Kyler Murray, and they're up 14-7.
3 possessions in the game, 3 touchdowns, as advertised.
College football on ABC is presented by Jared. Dare to be devoted. In part by the Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough. Built Ford proud. And USAA. Join us in saluting our veterans. Go to USAA.com/Veterans Day.
Travis DeGreat on the Oklahoma sideline. Josh Schenck out there as well. Lincoln Riley saying of the two, you just see the determination those guys have, doing all they do. It doesn't surprise you so much they do on the field. They're the guys we can count on. And our thanks to Josh and Travis for all they do off the field. Here's Todd McShay.
You guys miss me?
Where you been? Grab a sandwich?
Yeah, exactly. Tylan Wallace, I know you already touched on it, Grease, but I didn't know a whole lot about him coming into this week and preparing and watching him on tape. He's playing like an All-American. And the thing that he does is contested catches. I know he had the drop on that first drive, but his ability to go up and make difficult catches in the air, contesting catches with defensive backs on him, to me, that's kind of what separated him from a lot of other guys in the country so far this season.
Yeah, Todd, it'll be interesting to see how Oklahoma decides to play him now, whether they roll a safety over the top.
Cornelius comes out throwing. It's Dylan Stoner, his 2nd grab. He'll be short of the marker.
I don't think that Ruffin McNeil is going to want to make a living leaving his corners, whether it's Trey Bound or Trey Norwood or Parnell Motley, matched up in man-to-man on Tylan Wallace. So that should allow Oklahoma State a little bit more room to run the ball with Justice Hill.
Game number 4 with Ruffin McNeil as defensive coordinator. Replaced Mike Stoops. Heading into the bye week off the loss against Texas. The only loss for Oklahoma on the season. 2nd and short. See how the Cowboys play this. Off the play fake. Good protection. Cornelius throwing, and it is almost caught. What a catch that would have been by Dylan Stoner. Reaching out with the right hand. Look at this. He almost brought that in. That would have been some. That would have made your top 10 on Sports Center.
That would have been top 10 there?
Yes, we have a top 10, a not top 10.
And it would have been,
would have been top 10. Just falls as a loud incompletion then. 3rd down and 2. Oklahoma was bringing the pressure, and the Cowboys pass the other way to Landon Wolf for the first down.
We kind of wondered how, in a big game, in a big spot like this, how would Taylor Cornelius respond? And he has been on target. They upset Texas, and a big reason why was because of the arm of Taylor Cornelius, and he's on point early.
Justice Hill for a few. You know, we wondered about the Oklahoma defense under Ruffin McNeil, and had those first couple games. They sort of shut down TCU, held them to 27, held Kansas State to 14, and we're like, hey, well, based on those two offenses, it's hard to see. And then last week against Texas Tech, still allowed 46 points.
Yeah, I think everybody knows it's still a work in progress, and Ruffin knows that. I think he knows the strength of the defense is up front in the front seven. Really, where they need to continue to grow and get better is in that secondary.
Second down and 8. And a flag. See who jumped.
False start. Offense, number 27. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the back, J.D. King. You're always immediately going to the offensive line. And this has been a banged-up offensive line that's been filled sort of by musical chairs. They're without Arlington Hambright today. Shane Richards, 2 tackles, 2 backups, but 2 tackles who did not even make the trip.
Yeah, and Oklahoma needs to take advantage of that. They have the advantage up front with the defensive line with Gallimore and Bledsoe and Ken Mann. They have got to affect the quarterback.
Off the play fake, Cornelius to throw. And instead, he'll just throw it away. So, Grease, so J.D. King commits the penalty, and he was taken out of the game instantly, okay?
Yep.
Now, it was 2nd and 13, so maybe that was by design, or it's because Mike Gundy said, we will cut down on the dumb penalties. Guys are coming out of the game, and they'll stand next to me on the sideline.
Yeah, and I mean, he's done all kinds of things to try to stem the number of penalties. And finally, he's at his wit's end. He says, listen, if you make a dumb penalty, you're coming out of the game. You're going to stand next to me. And he's kind of at the end of his patience, and I don't blame him.
And some penalties are better than others, but, you know, false starts and mental mistakes, certainly unsportsmanlike. Here's 3rd and 13. Cornelius with a man and a hand in his face, able to complete to Tylan Wallace for the first down. Trey Norwood had the coverage to gain of 17. Good thing Cornelius goes 6'6".
Todd was talking about Wallace, and look at the attention to detail. Getting open, using his hands at the top of the route, and being a friendly wide receiver gets the first down.
Cornelius off to Wallace again. First down yardage, he's down at the 30. He was taken down by Robert Barnes. Tylan Wallace, 970 receiving yards, Grease, wait for it, before contact. That's a lot of yards. That's number 2 in the nation. Gain of 13 there. Here's Hill as they mix the run with the pass.
And if I'm Oklahoma State, I'm going as fast as possible right now. Got Oklahoma on the ropes defensively. They're throwing the ball. Cornelius is confident. Wallace is getting hot. I'd ratchet up the tempo if I were Mike Gundy.
Cornelius 6 of 8 throwing for 107 yards so far. Six and a half to play in an energetic first quarter. Cornelius the pump, and it costs him. He's taken down back at the 31 by Curtis Bolton.
This is a coverage sack. Nowhere to go with this football. This pocket is pristine initially. Right now, the ball should come out. Wants to throw it, but coverage downfield, and Bolton finally gets to Cornelius. Big play for Oklahoma defensively.
One of the few California players on the Sooners. Curtis Bolton, the 5th-year senior. 3rd down and 11. Able to convert on the first 2.
Oklahoma looked a little bit confused there.
2 to snap it.
Yeah.
No way they got that off. Let's see if they got a timeout. And they did.
Prior to the snap, Oklahoma State takes their first time out of the half. It'll be a media break.
Thank you for that, Brad Van Vark. He's our referee today. 14-7, Bedlam.
Matt Berry with your CarMax Drive What's Possible update. First possession of the game for Alabama. Tua Tagovailoa drops a perfect throw to Irv Smith Jr. Out at the 1, Alabama would punch it in a play later. Steve Levy back to Bedlam.
All right, Matt, thank you. And just in time, As we welcome you back for a 3rd down and 11 from the 31 of the Sooners. Cornelius with some pressure up the middle. Throws for the end zone. It is caught. It's Tyron Johnson for the score for 31 yards. And we go back and forth. 4th possession, 4th touchdown.
I'm trying to tell you there's going to be a lot of points in this game, partner.
Yeah.
This is just a ball that's thrown up. It's a 50-50 ball, and you can't blame Oklahoma State for taking this approach. Johnson just goes up taller than Trey Brown. Brown not able to locate the football, and they in a position here to tie this football game with the extra point.
Matt Amendola on to try to square this game up. 5.5 to play in the first quarter. And he goes 14 all.
Well, the best game that Tyron Johnson had in his career was last year against Oklahoma, and he's off to a hot start in this game as well. There he is on the outside, inside leverage by Trey Brown, and Cornelius just going to throw this ball up. Brown is in position, just not able to locate the football and make the play on it, and it ends up in a touchdown. And everybody knows when you play Oklahoma, their weakness, right? And so they're just going to continue to attack downfield throughout the course of this game.
The other thing I noticed on that play too, coming out of a timeout, which was called because of confusion when it came to lining up the previous play, they didn't have 11 players on the field. Jordan Park, I should say, number 1, came running on the field late. So I don't know if it had anything to do with the play or the decision by Cornelius to throw the ball down the left side, but at the end of the day, you got to have the right personnel coming out of a timeout, and it's just kind of indicative of what we've seen the last few weeks with Oklahoma.
Parker is backing up Khalil Houghton, who did not play last week and is not here today either. Will not play, banged up. But here's what I'm thinking. We just come out of Matt Barry's update about Alabama, and that's how everybody wants to be judged by, right? We saw what Alabama's defense did a week ago, for example, and then you question the Oklahoma defense.
Well, yeah, everybody's had questions about Oklahoma's defense, but certainly their offense has masked a lot of that throughout the course of this season.
Here's Trey Brown now, and he is bumped backwards. Bumped down to the 15-yard line. Devin Harper on the special team stop.
We'll get a chance to see Kyler Murray again, his turn, this 5th drive. But people need to understand this. Okay, yes, Tua is having a great year. Kyler Murray is having just as good a season as Tua Tagovailoa, and people I don't think are giving him enough credit. Everybody's kind of giving Tua the Heisman. Kyler Murray is going to be in New York with every opportunity to win the Heisman.
He is a special player. There is no question. You think about the Heisman Trophy. No program has ever had consecutive Heisman Trophy quarterbacks. And, of course, people want to compare this offense to last year's offense, led by Baker Mayfield, who won the Heisman Trophy. Here's Kennedy Brooks. He's stopped by Justin Phillips.
You can't imagine the pressure, right? You could argue that Kyler Murray had more pressure on him coming into this season than any player in the country because of what he had to step into with Baker Mayfield. And he's not only played his part, you could argue he has played better than Baker Mayfield, and this offense is more explosive this year than it was a year ago.
And it's definitely more efficient. Mayfield, by the way, threw for 598 yards in Bedlam a year ago. So we'll keep an eye on Kyler Murray, who's 3 for 3 for 65 yards so far. He's got a ways to go. He will look to add to that here. Wide open is Lee Morris. The ball just comes out of his hand so effortlessly, Grease.
Well, this is showing you the arm strength of Kyler Murray. You want to question that? This is a hole shot in the middle of 2-deep defense. You're going to have a corner here and a safety back here, and this ball has to be thrown on a line. It's a great read from Kyler Murray, understanding where the weakness of that defense is, and then the arm strength to put that ball in there.
28 yards there. When Morris makes a grab, you're almost surprised it's not a touchdown. Came in with 16 catches on the season, 8 of them for scores. That one just went for 28 for Lee Morris. First down and 10 at midfield. Murray running away from people. Takes a pretty good stick down at the 44-yard line. Hit by Malcolm Rodriguez.
when he gets up, Kyler Murray, the one thing he does not like on the football field, he does not like to hit.
He's a baseball player.
Okay, and he got hit there from Edison Magruder, who came down from his safety spot. But if you're going to beat this young man, that's what you need to do. You need to hit him when they run the ball with him between the tackles. It's easier said than done, though.
And that is one of the matchups, but great offensive line for Oklahoma against the #1 sack team in the nation, this Oklahoma State defense. Here's Murray to throw off his back foot. Doesn't even need to step into that for a short gain. Again, it's Lee Morris. Got the first down. Kennedy Brooks stumbles forward for a couple. Bradford made the stop.
So, Steve, I think it's worth mentioning, you know, Kennedy Brooks in the game. We haven't seen Trey Sermon since that last drive where he came off the field a little bit gimpy. So they may need to be a little careful with Kennedy Brooks, how many carries they give him, because he's a young player as a redshirt freshman, and you don't want to overload him knowing you don't have much or anything behind him.
On the ground, they swing it to Brooks. It's another touch for him. It is impressive without Rodney Anderson that they are still the #1 rushing team in the Big 12, number 12 in the country. Again, when you lose a talent like Rodney Anderson, and he's a tough story, right? 3rd season-ending injury for him. I know Todd McShay's been looking at his tape. Hopefully, he'll be playing on Sundays in the NFL.
You see that Trey Sermon has really stepped up for them. But without those 3 guys at the bottom, and if Trey Sermon, who's still on the sideline, not to go here, and Lincoln Riley gets a credit to him recruiting-wise that he's got this kind of depth.
3rd and 4. Murray's got all sorts of time. Waits for Brown to come underneath, and needs one move. Did not get there. Wonder if there might have been a face mask at the end. Calvin Bundage came up to make the stop, and he's got a 4th down.
This is amazing. This is one of the fastest players in college football, Marquise Brown, and that's a linebacker in Bundage trying to catch him. It looked like that hand was up around the face mask. Didn't pull him down by that. But, you know, Marquise Brown has been hurt. He had an ankle in the TCU game. He has not been 100%, Steve, I don't think. Typically, he catches that ball, and he's like a rocket to get a first down.
Going for it on 4th and 1. For the 8th time all season, they'll go for it on 4th down. Hand it off to Sermon. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Everett gets him the fresh set of downs.
Great news for Oklahoma. They get the first down, but even better that Trey Sermon is okay to come back in this football game. And right after that 4th down, he's going to come out. Looks like Lincoln Riley might take this a little bit cautious with Sermon being nicked up. He'll give the bulk of the load to Kennedy Brooks and just use Sermon maybe in short yardage and goal line situation.
So a big play there to keep the drive alive. Here's Murray on the quick throw to Miles. Tees making people miss. And he's down inside the 10-yard line. Miles Tees' first catch, but the game's 6th of the season. It's a gain of 17.
That's an extension of the run game, right? If you're a little bit light, a little bit banged up at running back, then you can supplement, if you're Lincoln Riley, by throwing these swing routes to these wide receivers, the bubble screens. That's just an extension of that run game.
10th play of the drive upcoming. 45 seconds to play in the quarter. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. It's a good day for the punters to take the afternoon off. On 1st down and goal, right into the middle of the line is Kennedy Brooks. Enoch Smith leading the party for the Cowboys defense.
Well, Cowboys defensively, you know you're going to give up some yards, but when you get into the red zone, you got to prevent points. And nice job by Enoch Smith, and Jim Knowles, their defensive coordinator, knows that they have to move their defensive line up front. They can't just be static, come off the ball, because Oklahoma's offensive line will blow you out of the stadium. They've got to move up front. A nice job by Enoch Smith with the tackle for loss.
Oklahoma State's red zone defense is excellent. 2nd in the conference, 11th in the country. That's it for quarter number 1. We'll be back after this message from your local ABC station. 14-all, Bedlam. As always, this time of year, we like to salute all of our nation's veterans, past and present, as we take a look at some of the courageous soldiers, the men and the women protecting us from around the globe, proudly showing off their school pride. We thank you all for your service. There's bedlam everywhere you look. Good on those people. Can't thank you enough. Veterans Day, Veterans Weekend, Veterans Week. Let's give them a whole month. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Todd McShay. The 113th edition of Bedlam here in Norman, Oklahoma. Tied at 14. We've had 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns as we welcome you back. This is the 5th possession of the game. Oklahoma on 2nd down and goal from the 9. Marquise Brown get the football in his hands any way they can, and he'll just cut it up to get back to the line of scrimmage. Malcolm Rodriguez made sure of that.
Yeah, really nice job by Oklahoma State defensively. I think they're keying now on Marquise Brown, knowing that Lincoln Riley needs to be a little bit more creative with the thin running back group. They're going to give Marquise Brown some rushes. He only comes into this game with 1 rush on the season, but they're trying creative ways to get the run game going.
Rodriguez up to 5 tackles so far to lead the way for that Cowboys defense. So here's 3rd and goal from the 9. Got 4 seconds to snap it, make it 3. See if they got the timeout in time.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Did not push him back.
Yep, this has been an issue for Oklahoma. They've been doing more checking this season with Kyler Murray than even they did a year ago. So this is not a matter of the play coming in late. It's just they're making a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage, and you got to keep your eye on that play clock. And it costs them now 3rd and goal from the 14.
Kyler Murray, just his 14th start. Had the 3 starts back at A&M. Had the 1 short start for Baker Mayfield a season ago. And then all this time. Still 2 to snap this one. Finally get it away. Here's Murray under pressure. The last second gets it off to Sermon. Stays inbounds and then is bumped out. We'll see where they mark him out. They're going to say back at the 4-yard line. Improvisation by Kyler Murray.
Yeah, no question. Jim Knowles, defensive coordinator, decided to bring an all-out pressure. Kyler Murray sees it. This is just like an option. Turns into a scramble and an option. And Trey Sermon almost makes an unbelievable effort to get to the end zone, but that's the right call. He steps out at about the 3.5-yard line.
But what could have been disastrous is a 10-yard gain.
That's about how it's gone for Oklahoma this year offensively.
Turn nothing into something. Austin Seibert is on. Chip shot from 21 yards away. It's good. And there is news. 5 possessions, not 5 touchdowns. Somebody snuck a field goal in there. And it's 17-14 Sooners.
I think it's going to be one of those days, you know, that even in this kind of a game, it's going to be a shootout. Last year, 62-52, so it's not about necessarily defenses keeping you off the scoreboard. It's about how many times can you take a potential touchdown and have it end up being a field goal.
The Sooner schooner, pulled by the 2 white ponies named Boomer and Sooner, of course, doing their thing. Oklahoma has been doing their thing all season long. They've scored 45 or more points 7 times. Got a tough one against Army. Army held the ball 45 minutes. Oklahoma had to squeak out a win in overtime. Then there was the loss to Texas that potentially could haunt them. And then came the bye. Ruffin McNeil inserted, replacing Mike Stoops as defensive coordinator. It's the first time in some 20 years there hasn't been a Stoops on the coaching staff here at Oklahoma.
Yeah, I go back to that Texas game. You mentioned it. That's certainly the only blemish on the schedule, but Oklahoma was beaten soundly for 3.5 quarters in that game and had to score 21 points in the 4th quarter to kind of get that game as close as it was, Todd.
Yeah, and you look at it, because of that game, they're on the outside looking in when you talk about the college football playoff. And they're huge Alabama fans. They need Alabama to knock Georgia out of this thing. And then they need one of the other 3 teams. We're talking about, Clemson, is there a loss on their schedule? They're talking about Notre Dame. Is there a loss left on their schedule? Maybe at USC. So they need some help, and they need to continue to play the way they are offensively and get better on the defensive side.
Yeah, Michigan and Notre Dame, those are the teams. Clemson's not losing.
I think Desmond Desmond picked Boston College to beat him tonight, Grease.
Okay.
Win the game outright. Here's Cornelius throwing and completing. It's Jelani Woods on the reception. Like the tight end, but they call him a cowboy back. It's a gain of 15. Cornelius lofts one down the sidelines, got a man too far for Tylan Wallace. Had a step, not enough.
Please, we were watching film of Oklahoma State yesterday, and they run a lot of double moves with Tylan Wallace on the outside. That's exactly what that was. They got Trey Norwood. He bit on the out route. Just a little hook and go. Just a little stutter step. That's all you need. And you look back, and if this ball was on target, would have been another touchdown.
Cornelius has been on target for the most part. 8 of 11, 153 yards, and the 1 touchdown. That's Chuba Hubbard in the backfield. Merely a decoy. Tyron Johnson makes the grab. His second, it's a first down. Working on Parnell Motley for a gain of 11.
Another thing I noticed about Oklahoma State offensively is if you give these receivers free access, then Cornelius will take it every time.
Wants to throw again. Down the middle of the field, has Wallace and has another touchdown. Beating Trey Norwood. Cornelius to Wallace for 49 on the score. And the Cowboys take the lead.
Ruffin McNeil's going to have to adjust at some point because the matchup that he wanted is not working out. We asked him specifically about this matchup. He said Trey Norwood's the guy that we want to be on the #1 receiver, Tylan Wallace, and to this point, he's just not holding up in coverage.
Can't run with him, Todd. Nope.
That's a 33-yard scoring drive. (21-17). We're on our way early on, second quarter.
Welcome back to Norman. Let's take a look at that last touchdown play. It's a hard little play action inside. These receivers are on one-on-one on the island with the corner out here. This is the safety, Parker. He has to help that corner get back. He's biting up on the inside routes and leaving Trey Norwood on an island on the outside. If I'm Ruffin McNeil, just like Todd said, you have got to get some help from these safeties. Khalil Houghton, who was supposed to play in this game, hurt, not able to go, and Jordan Parker not in position to help on the touchdown.
33 seconds to score for Oklahoma State to take the lead. Here's Trey Brown. See what he can do. Brown trying to make some people miss. He's out to the 22-yard line. That's where the Sooners will take over. Here's Matt Barry with an update on Michigan.
Steve Levy, thank you. DirecTV more for your college football thing. You want an offensive explosion? Go to Piscataway and check out Isaiah Pacheco. 80-yard touchdown run. Michigan giving up just under 94 yards a game. And Pacheco gets 80 in one clip. There's some bedlam, Levy. 7-7 in the second.
I hear Pacheco. I'm thinking, is he related? Ferdy, the fight doctor. Barry, you want an offensive explosion. Check out my drive chart.
Wow.
That's how I roll. 38 points, 449 yards of offense. And we are on pace to obliterate last year's record for points in Bedlam. And Kyler Murray slides into second base.
You got to call holding on the edge. I think Coach Gundy wants holding on the edge.
Just a guess. Mike Gundy wants a win in this series. You know, he kind of downplayed the rivalry in talking to him this week, and maybe that's because he's 2-11 in this Bedlam series. He said, look, we got to get the kids excited every week. If we make this game to be more important than another game, it makes things difficult. Here's Murray going to take off. Kyler Murray cross midfield, and he'll scamper out of bounds. Gundy also said that Murray, when he scrambles, it's not for a first down, it's to get 60.
This is amazing, right? He's rolling out here. He wants to throw the ball deep. And Oklahoma State does a nice job of covering deep. But if you don't have the lanes, he is so fast, so explosive. And this is Michael Vick. That's what that is. You get to the second level, and you're lucky if you can lay a finger on the kid, much less get him on the ground.
29 yards on that scamper, if you will, for Kyler Murray. He was the first Oklahoma player to ever have 300 yards passing, 100 yards rushing in a game. Did that a week ago. Kennedy Brooks breaking through people. Here's Brooks to the outside for the touchdown. Could have gone to Sermon or Brooks. It's 45 yards for the score. And we go back and forth.
Great blocking up front by Samaya, the right guard, 75. Here he is. He's going to pull around and get the block. And then downfield blocking by C.D. Lamb. There's the kick out. Great cut. And then look at C.D. Lamb downfield. Look at this block down here. Unbelievable job by C.D. Lamb.
Austin Seibert on for the extra point. Seibert is already the career leader in points for Oklahoma. He will add to that.
You get catches, you get touchdowns, you get all the glory, but if you're not doing this, you're not playing for Oklahoma. Great job by number 2.
College football, presented by Jared on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. Nissan, innovation that excites. And Burger King. Get 10 crispy chicken nuggets for just $1, only at Burger King.
The Nissan Heisman House in town today. That means Jason White, Billy Sims. Also means Ryan Russillo. Austin Seibert, congratulations. You are the all-time leading scorer in Big 12 history. How about that? And he now needs just 43 points to be the all-time leading scorer in FBS history by any kicker who's ever played the game. Pretty impressive stuff. This season, for every field goal, an extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, All-State. You got to be on a team with this kind of offense to break those kind of kicking records. That's a lot of extra points. Not so many field goals, a lot of extra points after all those touchdowns. 3 possessions so far for Oklahoma State, and they have all resulted in touchdowns.
There's only one team playing this game with hopes to get to the college football playoff, and it's Oklahoma. The big question coming in was this defense. Is this defense a playoff caliber defense? And so far they have not been in this game. They have got to figure a way to get a stop.
Not been all season. On the ground, here's Justice Hill. Staying on his feet, Justice Hill. Playing some big boy football across midfield, and he's in a Sooners territory down to the 45 after a gain of 28.
The missed tackles are starting to pile up for Oklahoma. Kenneth Mann, the middle linebacker, number 9, had a chance here, and just right there is Brown, and Hill gets to the second level. They've beaten Oklahoma through the air predominantly, and now they're getting this run game going because Ruff and McNeil has to protect these corners and take the safety out of the box.
On 1st down and 10, back to the passing game. Cornelius, the throw, had a man wide open, and he skipped it to Landon Wolf.
Boy, another gaping hole in this defense. Just a pump outside on the swing route, and it comes wide open to Landon Wolf on the wheel, and that wasn't even in the neighborhood.
Might have lost that in the sun, too. The glare, wearing the shield.
Yeah, that wasn't on the receiver, the Wolf. That ball just not thrown far enough outside.
You look into that greasy all afternoon. Man who wears his sunglasses at night. Here's Cornelius, not that time. Neville Gallimore drops him. The junior from St. Catharines. Second sack of the game for Oklahoma.
Talked about the advantage that Oklahoma does have defensively. They should be able to get after this offensive line. It's been wrecked with injuries, and that time nice rush from Gallimore brings up an opportunity here, 3rd and long, to get off the field for Oklahoma.
And the drama and the intrigue that we might actually have a punt.
There's still a lot of confusion in the secondary for Oklahoma.
3 to snap it. 1-0. Let's see if they got the timeout. And they did.
Timeout. Oklahoma State. Their second of the half. It'll be a media break.
Both timeouts used to try to avoid the delay of game penalty. We'll be right back. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like the Oklahoma Sooners by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to find out if your team made this week's rankings and to see how your school can compete. Here's 3rd and 18. Across the middle into the shadows and behind Tylan Wallace. Could not come up with the grab.
And there was a window there to make that first down. Wallace was coming on an inside, got a skinny post, and you'll see from Taylor Cornelius, he's just looking off the safety. And right there when he throws, there's the lane. He just missed it by a foot. If it was out in front of Wallace, that would have been a first down.
And some Bedlam chatter afterwards with Curtis Bolton. And here's a punt. Hey, looky here. Zach Siner is on to kick it away. Got some late outside pressure. CeeDee Lamb from the 6. Trying to make some people miss. Turns on the Jets. Has plenty of running room down the sideline. Picks up some blocks. And he'll be out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. Malcolm Rodriguez able to force him out, but it's a return of 64 yards after the 50-yard punt.
Yeah, it was a 50-yard punt, but there wasn't a whole lot of hang time on it. It got down there quick, and CeeDee Lamb had, look at the room he has to make a move. And you got to take your shot. When you're on the coverage team, you got to take your shot when you had it. And down there, Malik Givens, the safety, just tried to keep him contained rather than tackling him and gave up a big return.
Lamb had a 66-yard punt return against UCLA earlier this season in the second game. So the 64-yard return right now, and has Oklahoma set up in excellent field position. Already leading by 3, 10 to play in the first half. And they'll start this drive at the +29. Murray on the ground to Trey Sermon for a couple. He knocks Smith to stop. Prior to that punt, we had 47 snaps in the game. Only 6 of them had been on 3rd or 4th down. Here's a 2nd and 9. Murray trying to get out of trouble. Thought he was throwing it away, and it's Marquise Brown who comes back to make a play for his quarterback. Rodarius Williams following him around the field.
I don't think that Kyler Murray is capable of giving up on a play. And if you had this talent, why would you? Look, he fakes one way, goes the other way. That's a safety that's chasing him, not an outside linebacker or a defensive end. And he's just toying with guys and buys himself a little time and then finds Marquise Brown for the outlet. I mean, it's amazing what number 1 in Crimson can do.
And he's 10 for 10.
Of course he is.
Passing 134 yards. That's Trey Sermon, the running back at the top of your screen. They spread him out. 3rd down and 7. Murray underneath, crossing to Brown's got the first down. So much speed on the field, Todd.
And with Kyler, I think another part of that 2 plays ago was his ability to extend that play, but also having a receiver that he trusts. I mean, he had to throw that ball up to get it out. He put it up, and he knew his receiver, Brown, was going to come back and make the play, and that's exactly what he did.
He's a winner. 43-0 as a high school player. He's only lost 1 game in his career, and that was to Texas earlier this year, but he knows how to win. And last week, we learned that he can also compete and come back from adversity, those 2 interceptions to start the game.
That's a distant memory now. Murray throws for the end zone, looking for Grant Calcaterra. That was one of the interesting conversations about Murray everybody was wondering how would he handle a little adversity. The 2 picks last week, 2 interceptions on his first 4 throws, and even Lincoln Riley admitted, I was curious to see how he'd respond. And the conversation on the sideline immediately afterwards, Riley said it was like another Monday conversation.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So calm, so cool and collected, never gets too high or too low. But the thing I liked last week was the leadership, because everybody on that team was looking to him. How is he going to respond? Not only did he do it on the field, but he did it on the sideline as well, and picking some of his teammates up during the course of that game.
Won the snap and barely got that one away. Murray off his first incompletion, comes back to C.D. Lamb. Looking to say he was out of bounds.
Well, it certainly looked like C.D. Lamb had a foot come down. That ball perfectly thrown. An eye on that left. Oh yeah, his hand came down out of bounds first. Great call by the official.
Colby Peel had the coverage. True freshman from College Station.
And give Peel credit too. He came over, didn't give up on the play, and hit C.D. Lamb, and that's what caused the hand to come down first. It looked like a foot was going to come down in bounds had Peel not pushed him out.
But you're giving credit left and right to the officials today. Like it. Called a good game in a stride, and now we got some flags. I'll check on this prior to the 3rd and 10.
Ball start, offense, number 71. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's Bobby Evans, the left tackle, junior from Allen, Texas.
And an opportunity here for Oklahoma State defensively. After the long punt return, Oklahoma had great field position, and now Oklahoma with opportunity to get off the field in a 3rd and 14-15 situation.
And that's just the 4th penalty of the game. Again, that was a major story coming in for both programs, who combined for 23 penalties a week ago.
These safeties are really tight. That may be a pressure situation.
Again, it's Sermon and Brooks together in the backfield. It's Sermon bouncing off some people and trying to make a move or two. And to bring up a 4th down and long.
Well, that's a win, right, for Oklahoma State.
No question.
Force that field goal attempt and keep this a 1-score game, potentially.
Anytime you can hold Oklahoma to a field goal is a victory for the other team. Here's Austin Seibert. This will be from 36 yards away. Hit a 21 earlier. And Seibert will look to close in on the all-time leading scorer for FBS among all kickers. Kyler Murray, we joked if he was sliding in the second base. Perhaps you're aware of his baseball skills. The number 9 pick overall in the Major League Baseball draft back in June by the Oakland A's. Some other baseball players who played football. The Jackie Robinson thing, that's an unbelievable picture.
Yeah, Kirk Gibson at Michigan State.
And then we flip it the other way. Here are these great football players who also played baseball. I've never seen the Dan Marino picture before.
That's vintage right there. You knew he had a good fastball.
The 4th round of the Royals. And when you play both and have success in both, here's Bo and there's Dion. They only need one name.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you play 2 sports, you go with one name, you got to be a great athlete, and these 2 were 2 of the best.
You guys left out the Richmond Spider, huh? No Brian Jordan?
Left out Tim Tebow also.
Wow. You keep going?
I think that's, is it more? That might be it. We are reminded it's not an exclusive list. Don't @ Brian Greasy on Twitter. We know there are others who have played both sports.
That was not my list. You just went with the marquee names. I got it.
Greasy loves lists and red zone defense percentages among his favorite things.
Percentages.
Yeah. 27-21. Having a good time in Norman for Bedlam. Hope you are as well, wherever you're watching. Cowboys keep waiting for Chuba Hubbard to break one. Not going to get the opportunity there. Check out today's Aflac game fact. Lincoln Riley's hometown is Muleshoe, Texas. Texas. Population of 5,000. Nearly 5 times the size of Taylor Cornelius' hometown of Bushland. Population of about 1,000. 2 West Texas towns are some 76 miles apart. And back some 5 years ago, Cornelius in overtime had a touchdown run that led Bushland to a 42-35 win over Muleshoe. And these guys are going so quick here. That's Hubbard, the ball carrier. The thing about Cornelius, they said even after that touchdown overtime, he just calmly hands the football to the official.
Right.
Like that's what he's about. He is not flash.
No. Well, and he was a big deal, but he didn't get highly recruited and came out and walked on here at Oklahoma State. You see a swing pass, but you know the thing is, 4 years ago, 2014, it was this young man, Taylor Cornelius, and Mason Rudolph, and they needed to make a decision as to who was going to play. And they told Taylor Cornelius he was going to start. He called home to his mom and dad, said, "I'm going to start." And then a couple days later, they made the decision to go with Mason Rudolph, and he's had to wait 4 years since that phone call, and now he's got this opportunity.
I think Rudolph started every single game except one over those 3 years. Hubbard has the first down yardage, but he's an interesting story. You love the size that he brings, and Mike Gundy could not say enough good things about his patience and sticking around. And he has all the right things to say himself in talking about the reasons he decided to say. The culture, the atmosphere, the city, the fans. He said, I had no reason to leave. Here's Cornelius to throw across the middle into the shadows, and it falls incomplete. Dylan Stoner, the intended target.
We're in back-to-back throws now from Taylor Cornelius, just a little bit off. This one, if it's thrown up, you see how much green grass there is in front of Dylan Stoner, and it looks like he may have come down with that grab. So he get his arm under the ball, or the nose of the ball touches the ground there, yeah, and then on the backside as well.
Brian Ernest had the call. Good job by this officiating crew so far today. Second and 10. Cornelius to Tyron Johnson has the first down yardage.
You know, Cornelius, as we talked about earlier, he's got all the physical tools with the size, the athleticism. He's got mobility. He's got a big-time arm. But the one thing he's going to have to improve on, we've seen really 4 of the last 5 throws, more consistency with his mechanics. Long-levered quarterbacks sometimes struggle with that consistency.
25 first downs so far. And another completion, that time to Hubbard out of the backfield. So Cornelius's youth coach and pastor said, look, he seems lazy and lethargic, like he's not interested, but we'll give you that quote in a second. Here's Johnson on the receiving end. And the Cowboys go fast.
He's not going to let you get that quote in. You're going to say something bad about him. He's not going to let you get it in. He's going to go fast.
I hope you can read fast. We're good. As Cornelius has time and lofts it over the head of Johnson that time. Incomplete.
So it was like poison? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's like poison. You take it, you don't know it's poison grease, and the next thing you know, you're dead. First of all, it's not my quote, okay?
Okay, that's his high school coach's quote.
Yep.
I'm not sure I understand what that means.
I think he can lull you to sleep. He can put you to sleep. He's not excitable. He's not running around. Hey, look at me. Look what I do. Let's talk about me.
Got it.
And then,
in
the end, the final score, his team has won. I think that's what he was going for. Let's not do that again next week. Hubbard for a few. Tyrese Lott makes the tackle.
Here's what I know about Taylor Cornelius. He's taking his shot, right? You get one shot at this if you're playing as a 5th-year senior in this Bedlam game. You got one shot, and he's taking it. And he's firing the football. They're not all accurate, but he's had enough so far to keep Oklahoma State in this football game, but another big 3rd down and 8 coming up here.
J.D. King and Chuba Hubbard are both in there now. That's King trying to swing it to him, and he couldn't haul it in. Cornelius just off the mark there, and it's 4th down.
It's an interesting decision there to throw the swing route to the back. You've had so much success throwing downfield. Even when the defensive backs for Oklahoma have been in position, they've gotten beat by Tylan Wallace. And in a 3rd and 8 situation, a big play in the first half, I think I would have taken a shot again on Tylan Wallace.
Here's Matt Amendola from 41. It's been in a bit of a slump, Amendola has. He's missed 4 of his last 5. And we got a timeout.
Timeout, Oklahoma. Their first of the half. It'll be a media break.
They had 12 guys on the field, and Justin Briles was running off the field.
Matt Berry here with a studio update over on ESPN. Washington State and Colorado. Gardner Minshew finds Max Borghi out of the backfield, and Borghi takes in for the touchdown. Levy, a defensive struggle at Colorado.
If you like that, you watch ESPN. If you want some points, welcome to ABC. There's Matt Amendola. I told you he missed 4 of his last 5. No one was on him for the 2 misses last week. In a crazy windy afternoon at Baylor, missed from 45 and from 47. Could have been the difference in the game. Here from 41 yards away. On the way. And no good. Missed it to the left. So Amendola's slump continues. And it remains a 6-point game, under 5 to play in the half.
Well, you give the ball right back to Kyler Murray with plenty of time left in the first half. He's been on fire all season and is no different in the first part of this game. Take a look at the progression. We talk about his speed and all those things, but look at his mental capacity going through his reads, and then an accurate ball thrown to a fullback on a wheel route, then extending plays. This play ends up being almost 6 seconds, and you give him that much time, he's going to find an open receiver. And when you do everything right, you have containment and you have coverage downfield, you think you're in good shape. Nope, sorry. You just squeak out here for another 25, 30 yards. Almost impossible to defend.
Murray in the offense. Take over the 23. Quick throw to Miles Tees. He is swung around for a loss. Kenneth Edison Magruder on the stop.
You know, the thing that stands out to me, too, is this offensive line and protection. I know a couple of those plays there, you saw a little bit of pressure, but we're talking about the #1 sack defense in the country, and they've done a good job so far up front, giving Kyler Murray some protection.
Yeah, we really haven't mentioned Todd Jordan Brailford, who comes into this game as one of the leading the Big 12 in sacks, but there hasn't been any pressure.
Murray looking to get out of there. And you haven't mentioned Creed Humphrey either. We spent a lot of time talking about apparently the all-world center. I mean, people can't say enough good things about the center for Oklahoma, the man who makes that offensive line go.
Well, really, the only one that matters is Lincoln Riley, and he said he's got elite skills, elite talent.
Yes. No, I think he's the most talented player on the roster.
Yeah, and
you were like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I said, you mean more than your receiver or your quarterback? And he said he's got the prototypical size and build and skill set to play center. He thinks he's going to be an all-world talent.
Now here's a really friendly guy, too. Maybe off the field. CeeDee Lamb can't haul that one in. He's got the mean streak this entire offensive line has.
It's just a redshirt freshman. And, you know, at 335 pounds, the thing that I was really, excited about for Lincoln Riley is that he calls all of the runs up front. That's not the job of Kyler Murray. That's the job of Creed Humphrey, and he does it really, really well.
3 consecutive incompletions, just as we were saying all these great things about Kyler Murray. And we'll get our first punt on their first 3 and out of the day for the Sooners. Austin Seibert on to punt. He does everything in the kicking game. Got it away, a little contact. He's held up at the end there. And Dylan Stoner will just let it go out of bounds. Tonight on ABC, it's the ACC Showdown with playoff implications. It's Trevor Lawrence and #2 Clemson taking on 17th ranked Boston College. Coverage begins 8 Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. Catch that game and every ESPN show on the app. Start your free trial of ESPN Plus today. It's the furthest north that Trevor Lawrence has ever played football. His previous high on the map was Virginia.
You got a weather report on that card, too? You see if it's still drizzling.
It's going to be a little chilly.
I think Steve Adazio would like it as bad as he can get it.
Steve Adazio starring on game day this morning. Here's Cornelius, has good protection and is tipped. Knocked away Kenneth Murray. They call him K9. Able to knock it away with a hand.
A nice play by Kenneth Murray. This is the second or third time they've tried to slip this ball behind the linebacker to Dylan Stoner. And Kenneth Murray, a smart football player, talking with Ruffin McNeil, really likes his Mike linebacker to think like he does as a defensive coordinator, and he did a really nice job reading that.
He's a team captain, and he's only a true sophomore. Very impressive young man. Here's Hubbard. Wrestled down by Murray. Bring him a third down.
Well, you know how difficult it is to be a captain as a true sophomore. That goes to show you how young this Oklahoma defense is and how starved they are for leadership.
Third down and 7.
Take a shot with Tylan Wallace. Top of the screen.
Rushing 4. Got it out quick. Looked to hit Stoner for first down yardage, and instead, Buki Radley-Hiles able to make the stop. A welcome addition back into that Oklahoma defense after missing last week's game.
Boy, and Buki had a chance to intercept this and take it back for a touchdown. You mentioned he's looking right back into the sun there, but a golden opportunity for him to make a statement play defensively for Oklahoma, and he missed it.
He dropped a pick 6 against TCU. Not that that was necessarily the same, but he's had some opportunities. This is Matt Hockett on to punt. Booting it to CeeDee Lamb from the 17. Lamb's going the wrong way. And all of a sudden, we've had consecutive 3-and-outs. Two
I think
punts.
they're tired.
What in the world is going on? Bedlam.
Welcome back to Bedlam, 27-21 Oklahoma. Here's pregame with Cale Gundy, coach for the Oklahoma Sooners, working on ball security at all times. It really stood out on tape watching this week how high all these running backs carry the ball. So I asked our stats guys, how are they in ball security? They've only lost 1 fumble all season long, and it came from the quarterback, Kyler Murray, not from any of the running backs or receivers. They do a great job with ball security. They practice their final period of practice every day is a ball security drill, a circuit where they go through different stations. They really focus on emphasizing it here in Oklahoma.
That is different.
It's awesome. Look like a joust.
Here's Sermon on the ground. On first down and 10. Move the sticks. Another 2.5 to go. There are the brothers. Mike Gundy, his days as quarterback at Oklahoma State. Cale said just about every single quarterback record here prior to Bob Stoops' arrival, as the brothers had a little meeting on the field prior to the game.
Say everybody in the state of Oklahoma loves this rivalry except for the Gundy family because they're torn.
This is a tough week for them. Speaking of family, we should make the point that Mike Gundy actually did not travel with the team.
Ball start. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Mike Gundy was back in Stillwater, did not travel with the team, watching his son Gunner play in a playoff game last night for 10-0 Stillwater High School. Now they went to 11-0 last night with a 48-13 win. It's Stillwater's first playoff win in a decade. It's only a 45-minute drive, no big deal. You've got to be reminded that this is Gundy's job, right? His family's back in Stillwater. And the next matchup, it's a different kind of family matchup, up against Justice Hill's brother. Here's Kyler Murray taking off. First down yardage, and he'll scamper out at the 38-yard line. So just to clean this up, Stillwater will move on to play Booker T. Washington. They're led by Dax Hill. That's Justice's brother, who is a 5-star mega recruit who is committed to school in Michigan, I understand.
Yeah, well, you know who Mike Gundy's going to be rooting for. Not only is his kid playing, but, you know, Justice Hill's brother didn't commit to Oklahoma State, so he's definitely rooting against him.
Well, Gundy says we don't get 5-star guys here.
Not even with Justice?
Right, I mean, how do you not swing that?
Yeah, not even a legacy.
Murray to throw. And complete to CeeDee Lamb. Right at the sticks. It's a gain of 10.
After that last 3-and-out for Oklahoma offensively, Kyler Murray came off the field, and Lincoln Riley talked to him for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And they were just talking about, hey, what happened on that series? What do you like? What are you feeling out there? What are you seeing? And I fully expect them to get back on track here on this drive.
90 seconds to go in the half. Oklahoma State will get the football to start the second half. Every possession counts in this game. Kyler Murray knows that. Marquise Brown, touchdown! 51 to the house.
Well, much like Tylan Wallace has done 2 times in this game, you put Marquise Brown in the slot. He's matched up on a true freshman in Tanner McAllister, and that's just no contest there. Nothing but speed burners to the end zone.
That wasn't even close. Defender had no chance. Seibert boots through the extra point, 34-21. Marquise Brown, they call him Jet. Our pal Gus called him Hollywood, and that got a lot of attention. He's from Hollywood, Florida, not California. And for all the talk about Kyler Murray and all the touchdowns, that's his first touchdown pass today.
Yeah, and he's come into this game with 8 consecutive games of 3 touchdowns or more. And Marquise Brown has been a little bit quiet in the last couple of games. Last week only had 5 catches, and he's been a little bit nicked up and injured. And it's good to see him at full speed again on that route.
Tomorrow, start your day off with NFL Countdown. Go one-on-one with Aaron Donald. Shares his secrets to sacking the quarterback. Then for Veterans Day, we've got the Cadets of Army squaring off against Coach K's 4th-ranked Blue Devils. Coverage tips at 1 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Everybody's talking about that Duke victory in their opener at blew out Kentucky. Zion Williamson, everybody can't wait to watch him slam the basketball. It is college hoops season. Good thing you didn't play against Aaron Donald. He would have destroyed you, Greasy.
He would have destroyed everybody.
He would have blown up your pocket like you read about. Let's get out of this conversation. Here's Matt Barry.
I'll save you, Levy. We got a surprise brewing over on the SEC Network. Jarrett Garantano to Marquez Callaway, and Rocky Top up 17-0 at the half over Kentucky.
A little hangover for Kentucky after that Georgia loss, right?
Yeah, everybody's talking about them. And actually, that went into that Kentucky-Duke game. People thought they were talking about the football team,
right?
More so than the basketball squad. Yeah, it seems like they've taken a little break. Here we go, minute 24 to go in the half. It's Chuba Hubbard on the ground. Mark Jackson made the stop. Cowboys have just 1 timeout. Remember, they had to spend the first 2 timeouts to avoid delay of game penalties. There's a flag down as Cornelius throws, and it's dropped by Dylan Stoner. Usually sure-handed sophomore from Tulsa.
And that ball was a little bit thrown, a little bit behind Dylan Stoner.
Offside, defense, number 18. 5-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
Plenty of time here for Oklahoma State.
Correction, that results in a 1st down.
Plenty of time here for Oklahoma State, right? There's a minute left in this half. They need some points here. This game is at risk of getting out of control if they don't put points on the board before halftime.
Here's Cornelius. Has some running ability, doesn't do it there. Tylan Wallace took a pretty good shot. It's a 1st down. Well, this is plenty of time considering they scored touchdowns in 1:17, 3.5 minutes, and 33 seconds was another scoring drive for them. So they have shown the quick strike ability. Here's Cornelius. See if that's a catch. It's Johnson on the sideline, has it for the 1st down.
Yeah, and this Oklahoma defensive front not getting any pressure on Cornelius. And after you get 3 or 4 plays into a 2-minute drive, that defensive line starts to get gassed.
That's a terrific catch. Cornelius drops one in there, able to hit Stoner.
And I think about taking the timeout here, save that time. If you're going to take 3 or 4 shots to the end zone here.
Put it on the ground. Wow. It's Hubbard. You said they had plenty of time, and they score. Chuba Hubbard from just outside of Edmonton, Alberta. Scores the touchdown, and the Cowboys aren't going anywhere.
Boy, that did not look good for Oklahoma defensively, and that's the kind of look that Lincoln Riley had during the Texas game, where they just were not able to have any answer for Texas offensively, and that was way too easy.
Extra point is good, and we're back to being a 6-point affair.
You know, we talked with Ruffin McNeil yesterday about this, and he said, you know, you blitz a freshman, you defend a vet, right? And I think that drive just showed you he's playing defense. He's not rushing, he's not blitzing Taylor Cornelius. And I respectfully disagree with Ruffin McNeil's approach right there, because Taylor Cornelius is a senior, but this is his first year playing, and you got to put the pressure on him. They're not good enough in the back end to just sit back and play defense.
Right. That took a whole 54 seconds. Didn't even have to use the timeout. Think about that. But this is the kind of game we expect, more of the same. And again, talk about these playoff teams, these great teams around the country. Well, they play defense, and we have not seen anything out of Oklahoma's defense. It looks too easy for both teams, but we don't have the expectations for Oklahoma State.
There's no question that they have to play better. They're not going to get any new players. There's no free agency, right? Well, there might be a little bit of free agency now with the new rule and the 4-game rule. But
when's the trade deadline?
But you got to play with who you got. And right now, Oklahoma has what they have on defense. They're not getting pressure, and they're not covering well on the back end, and this is what you get.
Here's Trey Brown. Let's see what he gets. Just out to the 20-yard line. A flag comes in late. 25 seconds left in the half. Check the marker. See if it's the old block in the back.
During the return, illegal block below the waist, return team number 2. Correction, illegal block below the waist, kicking team number 2. 15-yard penalty be added to the end of the run, first down.
Mike Gundy said in his 14 years he has not seen these kinds of penalties. Look at the chop block penalties. 4 times in the last 4 games. Said he hadn't had that in his last 10 years.
It's like Tanner McAllister, the freshman. You can't go down like that. I mean, he's got a big guy coming at him. That's a fullback, and he just goes low. And in the open field in the kicking game, you can't do that. Either team can't go low. It's just too much risk with knee injuries. It's a good call.
All about the player's safety, and we'll see if he takes a seat.
Yeah, he's saying you can't submarine there, right?
See how Oklahoma tries to play this. Kennedy Brooks, conservative for them. They do have 2 timeouts, and they will spend 1. Stay tuned for the Capital One halftime report. Kevin Nagandi, Mac Brown, Jonathan Vilma. Talk about this one. They'll have plenty of highlights to show.
This crowd, they want Lincoln Riley to keep his foot on the gas pedal. They weren't happy with the defense, the way they gave up that quick drive for Oklahoma State, and they want to see Kyler Murray out in open field. The adjustments at halftime will be big. What does Ruffin McNeil do to protect his secondary and get some more pressure? Does he stop playing soft against Taylor Cornelius and start to bring more pressure? And then for Oklahoma State defensively, we haven't said Jordan Brailford's name all game. He hasn't gotten any pressure on Kyler Murray, and I think they have to do the same. A little bit more pressure from both defenses in the second half.
Oklahoma State came in leading the country in sacks. They've been stymied a bit by this awesome offensive line for Oklahoma in that regard. But Ruffin McNeil and all the coaches, they're on their way down to the locker room to make those adjustments. That's kind of interesting. People forget, you know, they have to make their way down before halftime. They probably miss some of the action on the field on their way down. Some of these stadiums, it's not so easy to get down to the locker room. 20 seconds left in the half. 6-point lead for 6th-ranked Oklahoma. Completing the Marquise Brown. I'm going to say it's incomplete now. with 15 seconds left. Colby Peel had the defense. So Oklahoma is thinking about the playoffs, Grease, and Oklahoma State is wondering where that 6th win is going to come from. They still got a tough, beyond this game, tough schedule the rest of the way, and they're trying to become bowl eligible for the 13th consecutive season. But they got West Virginia at home and at TCU. There are no guarantees, and they're obviously in a huge fight, big underdog, 3-touchdown underdog here today. 3rd and 6. Murray to throw across the middle. Finding his way in the seam is Nick Basquin. Able to make the grab on a timeout.
Looks like they're going to clock it. Get the first down, stops the clock, and get this on the ground. That'll allow them to keep that timeout. But I think it's close here. 5 seconds. You can't really run a play and trust that you're going to get the clock stop with the timeout in time. I think you got to attempt a field goal here. It's normally the cutoff 6 seconds, but Lincoln Riley is going to roll the dice.
They would need to get to the 34 for Seibert if they can. Career long for him is 51. And it's Kyler Murray.
It's too much time. You can't run more than 5 yards, and the clock's going to run out. And I think Lincoln Riley was telling Kyler Murray, listen, don't run around. You got to get down so I can call the timeout, and that's just a missed opportunity. This is where the speed of Kyler Murray came back to bite him, right? He's so fast that he's like, I got green grass, I got green grass. You guys should go down right there. If you went down right there, you can call the timeout, but that very clearly ran out.
Oklahoma getting a little greedy at the half, maybe. Trying to get 1 more yard. It's been the most explosive offensive game, any game in the FBS this season in terms of combined yards. We'll send you back to Kevin, Mac, and Jonathan in the studio after this message from your ABC station.
ESPN, brought to you by USAA.
Welcome back, Norman, Oklahoma. Halftime of Bedlam as we honor our heroes on this Veterans Day weekend. Halftime 34-28, Oklahoma. Why wouldn't it be an explosive first half? Take a look now at our Pacific Life game summary.
Over 60 points of offense and over 800 yards. And Oklahoma's done it on the ground. They're almost to their average for the season per game. 226 yards in the first half on the ground. Trey Sermon and Kyler Murray. And as expected, Oklahoma State has been aggressive with Tylan Wallace and Taylor Cornelius, really taking advantage of this Oklahoma weakness in the secondary. Already over 300 yards passing in the first half.
And we would anticipate more of the same in the second half.
Yeah, no question. I mean,
why should we think the defenses are going to take over here?
Well, I think the defenses need to be more aggressive. They're giving up so much so easily. At least take your shot. Try to get to the quarterback and try to get to Kyler Murray and disrupt them a little bit. Both quarterbacks in rhythm, and if you just sit back, they're gonna make you pay.
I should point out we are ahead of last year's pace when they had the highest scoring edition of Bedlam. Oklahoma winning 62-52 last week, and the Cowboys will get the football, and they will start at the 25. Steve Levy with Brian Griese. You'll hear from Todd McShay shortly. And we came in talking about Oklahoma 6th in the country. They need help. They don't control their own destiny. They need teams in front of them to lose, but they need to help themselves by making a defensive stop here and there.
Listen, we keep waiting for Oklahoma to show up defensively. I think this is who they are. Last week against Texas Tech, they gave up, and they had to win that in the end, right? They had to get to an onside kick. And again, I think this is going to come down to the fourth quarter, and they're going to have to make a stop for Oklahoma State. And this is just who Oklahoma is. They're going to have to outscore people to win.
Average 9.5 yards combined every snap in that first half. Knocked away, and a flag comes out. And that's how we open up quarter number 3.
Trey Brown had an opportunity for an interception there. He jumped the slant route. Ball was thrown a little bit low.
Personal foul. Hands to the face, defense number 72, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It wouldn't have mattered. Bledsoe.
Junior from Lawrence, And the penalties continue to be a story, although much less than they were a week ago. Lincoln Riley came out in his press conference and said it was a great win. It was bad football, going right into all the penalties.
That was the first thing he addressed in the locker room
After a win, after a big win. That's how much it's on his mind. Cornelius in some trouble. Able to escape. It's batted away and hits the turf. Ronnie Perkins got a hand on it.
Boy, and Taylor Cornelius is lucky that ball was deflected, because if it wasn't, he was throwing it right to an Oklahoma defender. Take a look, makes a great play to spin out, but he's trying to throw this ball, and that would have gone straight to Oklahoma. A break for Cornelius. Trey Brown would have had another opportunity for interception.
Second down and 10. Quick toss to Hubbard. Won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Knocked backwards by Kenneth Mann.
Right off the bat here, Steve, in the second half, this first drive, you see a little bit of a different approach from Ruffin McNeil. They're not having two safeties back. They're bringing the safety, Buki Radley-Hiles, up around the line of scrimmage, trying to get more pressure on Taylor Cornelius. Now in a third and long situation, you're going to keep these two safeties back here, and you're going to roll them over the top to protect the corners.
Underneath, able to complete to Hubbard. Well short of the first down. Jordan Parker made sure of that, and it's fourth down. And we hear so much about those halftime adjustments. Maybe a snapshot of that there.
Well, in that time, I thought he would play too deep and protect those corners, but Ruffin decided to play it more aggressive and played a deep safety and man-to-man underneath, and a great job by Jordan Parker. You're going to give up the completion, just get the guy on the ground before he gets the first down and they force a punt.
Matt Hockett is back. CeeDee Lamb is set to return. Hockett is the backup punter. Siner had a 50-yard punt, but a 64-yard return by CeeDee Lamb. Now that's fair catch at the 10-yard line, a 44-yard punt there. Take a look, celebrating the upset. Brought to you by Outlaw King on Netflix. This was 4 years ago. Bedlam right here. 19.5-point underdog. Tyreek Hill. They kicked it to him a second time after a roughing the punter call. Bob Stoops elected to re-kick. Tyreek Hill, a 92-yard punt return, tied it. And then the Cowboys able to win in overtime. And that's the last time they were able to win in the series. But what a scene that was here.
Yeah, they were huge underdogs, almost 20-point underdogs coming into that game, and very similar situation here today as three touchdown underdogs coming into this one.
On first down, here's Trey Sermon. Started the game with a 60-yard run. Puts his foot in the turf and making people miss. Justin Phillips able to finally bring him down. The other thing about that game 4 years ago, Grease, the Cowboys were 5-6 going into Bedlam, so they needed that game to win to get bowl eligible. And they finished 7-6. And had a big bowl before that, a big bowl after that. So Mike Gundy has proven over the years, it might take one season to step back, but they're right back in the picture the next.
And just the week before that game was when they made the switch to Mason Rudolph, and that was his first win as a Cowboy.
Sermon's over 100 yards rushing. They'll add to that. Kenneth and Edison Magruder made the stop.
Well, we talked about the adjustments for Ruffin McNeil and Oklahoma defensively, being a little bit more aggressive, playing more man-to-man coverage. I think the same thing could be said for Oklahoma State defensively. They need to get off blocks. They have been killed in the run game. They need an extra man in the box, the safety down in Magruder, and these defensive linemen need to shed blocks. Easier said than done versus one of the best offensive lines in the country.
All sorts of time for Murray. CeeDee Lamb hauled it in. They're going to say no, he's out of bounds. Lamb's pointing to the scoreboard. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that left foot was down. Clearly, he had possession, even though it was in one hand. He clearly had possession and a foot down. And CeeDee Lamb's one of the best wide receivers in the country, in my opinion. With his body, question, did that right foot come out? It didn't look like it. I think that was a good catch, but he's got great body control, Steve.
We got to take a look.
The ruling on the field of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Big difference in yardage from their own 31, or will they be at the plus 38? Find out when we come back.
After review, the receiver got his left foot down inbounds with possession. It is a completed pass. First down for Oklahoma at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, it is. Had that one all the way. 30-yard gain. What a catch by CeeDee Lamb, who flips the field all by himself. What a play.
Yeah, great job along the sideline. Great awareness, great body control. It's good to see CeeDee Lamb get back involved in this football game.
Pressure up the middle. Murray doing the dance. And unable to complete it. Tried to hit Sermon coming out of the backfield to bail him out. Couldn't get it to him.
Well, they were trying to get a slip screen to CeeDee Lamb there. And we mentioned CeeDee Lamb a week ago. He had two personal fouls. He had an unsportsmanlike and a personal foul penalty on the same play at the end of the week, at the end of that Texas Tech game. And we asked Lincoln Riley about it. Because clearly it was a meltdown on the part of CeeDee Lamb. And he said, you know, if you knew the kid, you knew that that's not CeeDee Lamb. That is not how he plays football. He is a disciplined football player, and it's good to see him back involved in this game.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 72. The ball was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
That's Ben Powers.
Because they were throwing a slip screen, right? The offensive line is going downfield to get a block, and so you got to know as a quarterback, when your screen is not there, you got to throw it in the ground behind the line of scrimmage to avoid the penalty.
What I liked was Lamb's reaction. He said, that's all on me for the penalties last week. For the rest of my time here, you will never see that again. And Lincoln Riley was just blown away, so that's totally out of character for that kid. Still trying to sort some things out.
Oklahoma State has chosen to decline the foul. Brings up second down.
You know what? That's not a bad strategy. Not a bad strategy, because this is such an explosive offense, right, Todd?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I would rather second down and 10 than first and 15. Don't give him another shot.
Yeah.
Man, why give him one more offensive snap?
They're averaging over 10 yards a play
in the game. Second and 10. Ready to go back to work. The Oklahoma State 38. Murray in some trouble, it'll go down. Kenneth Edison Magruder will get credit for the sack as Murray just takes a seat.
That's a great job, great design. Edison Magruder, he's number 3 right here. He's going to come, he's got containment. Once he sees that it's a pass from the pocket, now he can come with pressure, and he had to come cautiously. I'll see how cautious he was in case Murray tried to escape, but he finally got him on the ground.
First sack of the day for Oklahoma State. They came in number 1 in the nation. Oklahoma's been excellent protecting their quarterback. He'd only been sacked 10 times all season. Some of that's on the offensive line. Of course, some of that's on his escapability. He's a hard man to bring down when you catch him. Here's Sermon. For 5, Rodriguez. And Kevin Henry able to make the stops together.
Yeah, really nice job there, and a decision to make here for Lincoln Riley. It's too long for a field goal attempt. It'd be about 55 or 56 yards, so he's going to go for it here. I get it, but if I were him, I still would punt this football and at least give your defense as much field as you possibly can. That's the weakness of your team.
So on a 4th down and 12 from the plus 40. Here's Murray throwing, and nowhere near his intended target, Miles Tees. And they do turn it over on downs. And so the Cowboys, trailing by 6, will take over with excellent field position.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens, whether Oklahoma State is able to take advantage. But a great stop for that Oklahoma State defense. Exactly what you needed to do to get a stop coming out of the locker room at halftime and get good field position for your offense to start.
And both can say that. Oklahoma had a good 3-and-out, too, in terms of their defense to start the third quarter. Tonight on ABC, all my Boston College pals are fired up. Game day was at Chestnut Hill. They'll be ready to go tonight. See how much a factor the crowd can be against number 2 Clemson. Best starting field position for Oklahoma State in the game. From their own 40. Cornelius to throw and complete to Dylan Stoner. Has the first down. It seems every catch Stoner makes is one which they move the sticks for.
Let's take a look at this Oklahoma defense. Let's watch these safeties back here. Radley, Hiles, and Barnes. They've been rocking and rolling. One comes up, one goes back. When you do that, you're going to have free access on the outside for Cornelius.
Cornelius able to complete again, that time to Tyron Johnson. He starts to spread the wealth, another first down.
And what I mean by free access, right, is when that safety comes down, the corner has to be soft, right? He has to defend the deep third, and so all the underneath routes to the wide receivers on the outside will be there.
The ruling on the field of a completed pass is under further review.
Take another look at that. The umpire blocking your view on that replay, Michael Cooper. Tough to tell.
Yeah, certainly didn't look like a clean catch right off the bat. The question was, did the ball touch the ground and help him to catch the football? But from those 2 looks, nothing conclusive.
You know, Mike Gundy says we don't get 5-star guys here. Tyron Johnson's a 5-star player. Went to LSU. Wanted some more opportunities to catch footballs. Redshirt junior from New Orleans.
Well, there was a lot of questions as to who would step up for Oklahoma State from the receiver position. Obviously, they lost a ton with James Washington and Marcel Aitman. And then J.J. McCleskey, remember, he left after 4 games, felt like he wasn't getting the ball enough. And really, Tylan Wallace has taken over that role as the primary receiver for this offense.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called.
And Tyron Johnson has been that secondary guy that has come along. And Dylan Stoner really has taken over from McCleskey in that slot position.
McCleskey played the 4 games. That's the magic number.
Now it is.
This current college football landscape. And he will look to go elsewhere. Play football elsewhere next season. First down and 10. At the Oklahoma 40. Here's Hubbard. Inching closer to another first down. It's an impressive Cowboys drive here.
Well, that's a great first down run there. You almost gain 10, get another first down. So you're going to give them 9. But if Oklahoma State can run the football here in the second half, they'd be really dangerous.
Cornelius on the move, directing traffic and throwing. Had a man come open. Couldn't put enough air underneath it for Wallace to catch up to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of backyard ball going on right now. Kyler Murray extending plays, and now Cornelius extending plays, and Wallace just tried to separate off of a broken route. And if Cornelius would have held it a little bit longer, it would have been a touchdown. Safety, Buki Hiles coming down here. That's what gives you so much room out here to throw the football if you want it.
Trying to run for it with Hubbard. We'll see where they mark the forward progress. It'll be very close. Kenneth Mann and Kenneth Murray coming up big for Oklahoma. They gave it to him, I think.
Yep.
They're moving the chains. That looked very close. But they gave him the forward progress. They're not even going to take another look at it. Oklahoma State quickly snaps the football. Cornelius throwing and a grab. Dylan Stoner goes up to make the catch.
Wow. Cornelius was under tremendous amount of pressure, and he almost threw this just hoping that something good would happen. Stoner was double covered in the middle of the field and made an unbelievable catch.
18 yards on that last play.
Cornelius is feeling it right now.
He started out hot, too. We had touchdowns on 5 of our first 6 possessions. The only one that wasn't a touchdown was a field goal. On the ground. Chuba Hubbard trying to spin away. Good second effort. Kenneth Murray makes another stop. Hubbard is an interesting story. I mentioned he's from outside of Edmonton. They looked at his tape and they saw him running away from guys. And, you know, the field's bigger in Canada and everything's different, the dimensions. And he comes over here and all these Texas high school tough guys are going up against him. And Hubbard was able to answer the bell. Took a big pop, jumped up right away. Coaching staff telling us he's the legit tough guy as well. He just can't skate. He said skating was an issue, so he went to football.
When you run that fast, you don't need to skate.
2nd and 6 from the 7. It's Hubbard again, trying to turn the corner, and he's lassoed down. See where they mark him out. He could get a first down at the 1. It is Buki Radley-Hiles who made the stop.
You see the speed here of Hubbard, a 10-4, 100-meter guy. He runs right around the edge of the defense and almost gets another first down, brings up a 3rd and short here. This will be interesting because Oklahoma State has not been very good this season running the ball in short yardage situations between the tackles. We'll see if they take this ball to the edge as well.
Four to snap it. It's Hubbard. Good second effort, and he's in for the score. And we are all tied up at 34 with 7.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. That was an impressive drive by Oklahoma State.
And a big-time block by the tight end, Jelani Woods. Here he is. He's just going to come off on the defensive end. He's a converted quarterback, but he's 6'7", 250 pounds, and he just clears the way for Hubbard to get in for the touchdown. That's an impressive young man right there. To make the move from quarterback to tight end is not easy, and to be that physical is unheard of.
Everybody in college football is a converted quarterback, and they're all coaches' kids. Matt Amendola boots it through and breaks the tie. It's our 3rd lead change. 7:32 to go in the 3rd. Oklahoma State by 1. Bedlam, indeed. We're not going anywhere.
College football presented by Jared on ABC is brought to you by Mazda. Feel alive. Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living. And Best Buy. Let's talk about what's possible.
Bedlam 30 years ago. Mike Gundy a chance to win the game. The ball is dropped in the end zone. Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State 31-28. Barry Sanders won the Heisman that year, rushed for 215 yards and 2 scores. And there is Mike Gundy, who has spent more than half of his life either quarterbacking or coaching at Oklahoma State.
He was a heck of a quarterback, no question.
So here we go. Oklahoma trailing by a point. 7.5 to go in the 3rd.
Well, if Oklahoma State is going to keep this lead, they're going to have to figure out this offensive line and this run game for Oklahoma. Take a look. Some of the plays that these big guys coming up are setting up. Samaya, Ford. This is Bobby Evans pulling. Look at how everybody's covered up. Ben Powers, that play could not have been better blocked. You get Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks to the 2nd level, and then they're going to make you pay. And you add in Creed Humphrey at the center position. I think this is one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in college football. And Oklahoma State is going to have to continue to get that 6th and 7th man in the box to stop the run game.
On the ground with Trey Sermon, able to squeeze through a hole. There is a penalty marker down. And just you say those nice things about the offensive line. Let's see if it's coming back for holding. We'll check.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, first down.
That is Bobby Evans. And again, the offensive line coach, he's the co-offensive coordinator, is Bill Bedenbaugh. Apparently, we mispronounced his name about 1,000 times last week. And so we want to clean that up and apologize to his entire family. Good news for Bill, by the way. This past Wednesday, named a Broyles nominee.
Yeah, as he should be. Well deserved for the assistant coach of the year in college football. Just He's a semifinalist.
Yep, and for all the talk about Lincoln Riley, to the NFL one day, and they say the same things about Coach Biedenbow as well. The NFL might be looking at him. Right now, all eyes on Bedlam and Kyler Murray. And it shows you some of the arm strength. They'll throw it away there. This game feels like it's taken a big turn all of a sudden in favor of the Cowboys.
Well, I think you kind of knew when you get a stop on defense, either one of these teams, that the other offense, they're going to score. It's just a question of whether it's a touchdown or a field goal. And I think Lincoln Riley knows, he knew coming in this was going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a fourth quarter game, and that's just the way it's been for Oklahoma, especially last week and again this week.
Sermon on the ground. First 5 possessions for Oklahoma, they were able to manage 27 points. The last 4 possessions, a total of 7 points. And credit to that Oklahoma State defense as well.
You're seeing Oklahoma State defensively move around a little bit more. That time, a nice rush from Jordan Brailford. Calvin Bundage with a wrap around the edge. Gets a tackle for loss.
Here's 3rd and 21. Murray trying to escape from Justin Phillips. And he'll throw that one away. The Cowboys defense holds off the punt.
Back-to-back stops for Oklahoma State defensively, and you got to give credit to Jim Knowles, their defensive coordinator, who's a first-time defensive coordinator here for Oklahoma State in his first year. Came from Duke, where he was the defensive coordinator for 8 seasons. And he's got a much different approach defensively. Does a lot on the defensive side, a lot of different looks, and he's brought more pressure here in the second half, and it's helped him.
There's a look at Austin Seibert. One of 3 players does all the kicking for his respective team. Kickoffs, field goals, and punting. And Dylan Stoner from the 42 headed the wrong way, and he will be dropped at the 40-yard line. Matt Barry, take it away.
The Big Ten West implications between Iowa and Northwestern here. Quarterback Nate Stanley, good play fake up top to Amir Smith-Marset. 28-yard touchdown. Hawkeyes up 3 late in the 3rd.
We are middle of the 3rd here, if you will. What do we have, a 2-hour first half? It's like the Snickers commercial.
I love Snickers. I still have a lot of Snickers left over from Halloween. The kids brought that. Should have brought some with me.
Are they fun size or are they full size?
You don't get the full size very often anymore. That's the lottery.
Gonna be here a while? We're having a good time. Tyron Johnson, what a play to get the first down, leaping over Trey Brown. Gain of 12.
Well, you got to be courageous and try this for obvious reasons.
I don't get it. What do you mean? First down and 10 there across midfield. Good protection for Cornelius. All sorts of time down the sideline. And Johnson was looking for a flag. Brown was with him step for step.
Now we've seen Trey Brown get beat quite a bit already in this game, but a great job here on the double move. Watch him. He doesn't react to the double move. He stays in phase with Johnson. That's as good as you can do it. And when Oklahoma in these corners do it well, you got to point that out too, because they've been beat a lot, but that's really well done from Trey Brown.
Brown, the fastest player on the field for that Oklahoma defense. Showed some of that speed there. Cornelius, dangerous throw, able to get it to Landon Wolf, who lowers his shoulder. And we'll see where they spot him, maybe just short of the first down. You see the unofficial yellow line for the first down marker.
Both these sets of wide receivers on both sides are blocking tonight. They are not just catching the ball. We've seen CeeDee Lamb blocking on touchdown runs by Kennedy Brooks, and that time Tyron Johnson gets a big block on Trey Brown, which allows them to almost get a first down, but that's what Mike Gundy wants from his wide receiving crew. James Washington and Aitman were great at it a year ago, and this crew's taking over for them.
They've had great wide receivers. They're the only school with 3 Biletnikoff awards. Justin Blackman got it twice, James Washington once. Dez was a finalist. And Tylan Wallace is on that Biletnikoff watch list right now. A couple of chain links.
He's up there. He's up there on that list. I mean, I got my ballot for that the other day. It's Hakeem Butler at Iowa State, certainly way up on that list.
Are you going to vote for the Biletnikoff?
Yeah, Marquise Brown. I know Todd has Marquise Brown, right? Todd, you got Marquise Brown up there in the draft stock?
Yeah, I've actually got him as the first wide receiver, and he wasn't coming into the year. I just think he's improved as a route runner. The speed is obvious. Everyone sees that, but he's become more consistent as a route runner and catching the football, especially in traffic.
And Tylan Wallace, you didn't have him on your radar either.
No, that'll be a year from now. He's only a sophomore, so we got to wait another year. But I mean, Wallace has been awesome. Yeah. How about the 10 catches for 222 against Texas in that upset? Oh. Stepping up big with the contested catches, one after another. He's a big-time player.
I look at that, Todd. I look at, how do these players, especially running backs and receivers, play in the big games, not against the bad teams.
3rd down and 1. Cornelius on the quarterback keeper. Don't know why we don't see that more often. And they get the first down.
Boy, and that got this offensive line fired up. We haven't talked anything about this Oklahoma State offensive line, but Marcus Keys is their leader up front. Started 33 games for them, and at 310 pounds, they ran right behind him. He was a first-team All-Big 12 guard last year in the Big 12.
Cornelius was under center for that snap, too. Earlier this season, the game against Texas, people went wild. They ran out of the eye. That's something they hadn't seen a lot in Stillwater. Off the play fake. Under pressure. And skips it to Wallace. And it will go incomplete. Cornelius moves better, Grease, than a guy who's 6'6" and 232.
Yeah, no, he's got a long stride. He's not as quick. His movement in the pocket is not as sudden. But once he gets going, we haven't really seen much of that in this game tonight. He hasn't been keeping the ball on those zone reads. Maybe they're saving that for the 4th quarter. But when he gets ahead of steam, he's hard to get down.
2nd down and 10. Coming up on 5 minutes to play, 3rd quarter. Number 6 in a ball game. Hubbard will get sent back to the line of scrimmage. They'll give him forward progress for a couple. Kenneth Murray making the stop. It was when all the questions were being raised about the defense and Mike Stoops was let go and the move to Ruffin McNeil that Kenneth Murray said the brotherhood of that Oklahoma defense is at an all-time high, trying to keep this unit together. They need a big play here. 3rd down and 8.
This is the time where Curtis Bolton, the linebacker, number 18, who's one of their better pass rushers. Here he is right here. I'd love to bring him in rush situations.
Here he comes. Oh, great call, Grease, right on it. It's Curtis Bolton to the rescue for the Sooners. Bolton's 2nd sack comes in a perfect spot for Oklahoma.
That's his 5th sack on the season. Here he is right here. They just like to move him around. He's got a unique, quirky ability to rush the passer as a linebacker. He's only 218 pounds, but he's slippery. That time they didn't even block him, and an easy tackle for loss.
I mean, Marcus Keys just moves right to the right, almost allowing Bolton a free path. 4th down and 12. They'll punt it away. Hockett from about the 47. See if he can pin him down deep. CeeDee Lamb, the fair catch at the 7-yard line.
Well, not only did that not allow them to get the first down, but maybe more importantly, took them out of field goal range. The big sack from Bolton.
Welcome back to Veterans Week on ABC. Brought to you by USAA. 122nd consecutive sellout there at Memorial Stadium, the Palace on the Prairies. You see the National Championship Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. All smiles for now. Oklahoma with the football, pinned back deep in their own territory. Here's Kennedy Brooks breathing room and then some out to the 28-yard line. How do you like me on first down? Perfect.
You think you get Oklahoma State and you get them backed up inside the 10-yard line. They just run this counter. They pull around Cody Ford. The big fella gets to the second level, and Kennedy Brooks. Everybody knows what play's coming. It's not like it's a secret of what Oklahoma's going to do running the football, but it's just very difficult to stop with such a good offensive line.
20 yards there. You can see he's averaging better than 10 yards per carry. Reminds me of Trey Sermon, the first offensive snap of the game. Ripped off 60 yards on the right side. So with some breathing room, Kyler Murray will air it out. Marquise Brown goes up to get it for a minimal gain. A.J. Green on the coverage for Oklahoma State.
I mean, you tell me what you're going to do as a defensive coordinator against this offense when you have such a physical run game, and then you have a quarterback and speed at the receiver position with Marquise Brown and C.D. Lamb, and they can throw the football. And Jim Knowles knows the third piece of this offense that really stings you is when the off-schedule plays with Kyler Murray. Those three things are the reason that Oklahoma's offense is so difficult to stop.
Averaging 49.1 points per game. They live above 50, though. Murray in trouble. He'll be taken down at the 25-yard line. Kenneth Edison Magruder has quietly had an excellent game for the Cowboys, able to bring them down.
Great job on the second level. Look at the coverage. Murray wants to throw to the right. Right now, he wants to throw it. There's nowhere to go. We got a linebacker over the top, and that's what gives Magruder the opportunity to get the sack. Great coverage downfield from Oklahoma State.
Second sack of the game for Edison Magruder, the senior from Houston, Texas. Already got 10 tackles. We haven't started the fourth quarter. 2nd and 6. Murray in some chaos, able to get it out to Brown. Oh, Brown makes people miss. Across midfield, and he'll scamper out of bounds there. Marquise Brown, slippery for 25.
Yeah, and Rodarius Williams there, number 8, the corner. That's who needs to make this tackle. This is the 4th or 5th time that Marquise Brown has caught this little shallow cross, and there comes Williams. He overplays it and gives up an extra 20 yards.
Green and Williams, and neither one could come up with the play. Just across midfield. Murray will keep it. And he'll run out for a couple. Jarrell Owens forced him out. Todd.
Hey, Greasy, I want you to watch this one more time and tell me what you would do if you were in this position. It was an unbelievable cut. Marquise Brown, I mean, he was dead to rights. And to make that move with the two guys converging on him, he's a special talent.
I don't put myself in that position, Todd.
Yeah.
I throw the ball to him.
Or run out of bounds. Here's Murray to throw. Lofts one, and it's caught. It's Marquise Brown. And the Cowboys are hanging on for dear life. A.J. Green got a cleat, and that's all. Gain of 39.
Todd talked about his route running, and it's just a double move on the outside. A.J. Green bites. The ball's a little bit underthrown, but Marquise Brown comes back and makes a nice play.
Low snap. Murray able to keep it. And then get off to Kennedy Brooks. Good play by Murray to handle that snap. The final 20 seconds of the third quarter. See if they want one more play here. 5 seconds on 2nd and goal from the 5. Zero's on the clock. They're going to let him play it. And the touchdown. Kennedy Brooks for the score. And Oklahoma back on top. And clearly there were zeros on the scoreboard before the snap.
Take a look at the clock. And remember how that works is the back judge is looking at the clock, and he'll look up at the clock when it hits 0. When it hits 0, his eyes will come back down to the snap of the ball. So there's a little bit of an echo there on the zeros.
Do love the echo. You hear the echo of the whistle. And so that's how the third quarter will come to an end. We're over 1,000 1,000 yards in total offense. 76 points on the scoreboard. 41-35, and I don't believe that'll be the final score either. We'll be back after this message from your local ABC station. More Bedlam, fourth quarter on the way. Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Jared, the Sooner Schooner, doing his thing. Look at my man there.
That is nuts.
He's going to have a headache after that, I would think. A blood rush to your head. Look at him.
That's the least of his problems.
You know, as I told you guys in the car on the way over, it's one of 3 vehicular mascots.
Yeah, you told us all right.
Tell the truth.
Greasy got him right away. Purdue and Georgia Tech, they got the Rambling Wreck and the Boilermaker Special.
After you made us go through 500 of them.
Yeah. My dad would not have let me get away with not knowing Purdue.
Monday night, Odell Beckham Jr. and Saquon Barkley head to San Francisco to take on Nick Mullins and the 49ers.
Who?
Nick Mullins.
Okay.
You know who he is after last week.
1-0.
Impressive. Giants-Niners, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Streaming on the app. One of those great games of the 90s they had. Here's Jim Burt. 49ers Giants in that great rivalry. All right, we open up quarter number 4. 6th-ranked Oklahoma with a 6-point lead. And the Cowboys come out throwing and completing to Chuba Hubbard, who's been excellent. All-purpose yards, he does it all. Had 111 all-purpose yards in the game against Texas. And he's been a factor in the backfield there.
Well, he's just such a great threat out of the backfield. Catching the ball and then running it, he's been effective too. I think you see who's the heir apparent to Justice Hill. It's obviously Chuba Hubbard, and now Taylor Cornelius starting to push 400 yards passing in this football game.
Wallace couldn't haul it in. Parnell Motley met him on time.
Nice job by Motley coming back and making a play on the football. Even though you're beaten with the route, don't give up on it. Come back and make a play, and that's good to see Parnell Motley, who at the end of last week's game gave up a big touchdown.
Had some penalties go against him as well. It's the first time I called his name all game here today. Imagine a defensive back not having his name called in this kind of game. 2nd down and 10. On the ground, it's Hubbard. 1 or 2. Kenneth Murray made the stop. Hubbard has carried the ball 14 times for 57 yards, made 4 catches for 30 yards, and has been involved in the return game as well.
Brings up a big 3rd down here.
The place is starting to bounce a little bit. As Knight rolls in. Norman, Oklahoma.
And this defensive line gets some pressure.
3rd and 9, here they come, trying to set up the screen to Hubbard. Has 1st down yardage and more. Chuba Hubbard perfectly set up. Good job by the offensive line getting the blockers out in front. The screen is perfect.
Well, not only the offensive line, but that Tylan Wallace at the receiver position. Watch as this screen develops. You'll see him come from the outside. He's on the right side. The ball is complete, and here comes Wallace right there. Gets the block to seal the 1st down for Hubbard.
It's a 19-yard gain. 400 yards passing now for Cornelius. Exactly.
Looked like Oklahoma had a player down. Jordan Parker. Both teams went to the sideline, and now officials saying calling them back out as Parker got up and walked off the field. Reset the play clock, and let's go.
That was 1st down, number 51. We're 1 minute and 15 into the 4th quarter. Cornelius has all sorts of time. He'll throw and able to complete. It's Tyron Johnson, another 1st down, make it 52. I don't know what the right number is for 1st downs, but it's not 52 in the first couple minutes of the 4th quarter.
These two don't care about 1st downs, they care about points.
Issues with the snap. Cornelius on the run, throwing and completing. Tylan Wallace for another 1st down, and they're in the red zone.
I can't tell you how hard that is. When you don't get the ball, you have to look down to get the football, and then to see the coverage.
And they go fast. That's Wallace on the outside, and they're inside the 10.
Mike Yursich is really ramping up the tempo. Did you see when this ball goes down, now the quarterback, you don't know what's happening. Is the rush coming? Where do my receivers go? What's the coverage? Now you're just playing backyard ball, and he buys a little time and gets the ball to Wallace for yet another first down.
The snap from Johnny Wilson was just fine. It was Cornelius who dropped the football there. 2nd down and 4. Another first down. L.D. Brown, his first carry of the game and 11th of the season. Redshirt sophomore from Dallas checks in.
I don't think we've had, Steve, a turnover in this football game. And neither one of these defenses has really challenged, whether it's an interception, fumble. Neither one of them have got many turnovers on the season. Oklahoma only has 7 coming into this game. And that's 123rd out of 130 teams in college football. They desperately need a turnover.
First down and goal. Cornelius will throw back to the end zone, and it's knocked away. Looking to go to Tylan Wallace, and it was Motley there with the excellent coverage.
This is the matchup that Oklahoma State wanted. Wallace on Motley, and Motley just gets enough there, gets that hand up. It's a good no call by the official. Both the offensive player and defensive player were pushing off, and give credit to Motley.
Motley was so upset with his play a week ago, and the coaching staff had to remind him, hey, we won the football game. We won. They try to just move on to the next play. Here is the next play. 2nd down and goal. 3 to snap it. They get it away. It's Hubbard, able to slice through for the score.
Assert itself.
The extra point, if it goes through, will mark the 5th lead change of the game. For now, we're tied at 41, Todd.
I've just been impressed with this offensive line from Oklahoma State. We've talked so much about Oklahoma's, but it really started to take over the line of scrimmage, especially in the run game the second half.
That's Hubbard's 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. Here's Matt Amendola. Oh! And he missed the extra point. There is no lead change. It's 41 all.
Wow.
Matt Amendola had been 42 of 43 on the season in extra points. And he misses this one. His slump continues in a big way. 41 all.
Let's go back and look at the 2 misses for Matt Amendola. This was a field goal earlier in the game. He hooked it. And then take a look at the hold here. He doesn't spin the laces out, Steve. As a holder, you got to get that ball down and spin the ball so the laces are facing away from the kicker's foot. And that time, Matt Hockett, the backup punter, the redshirt senior, didn't spin the ball. It may have affected that extra point.
Most of America is saying Ray Finkel wants the laces out from Ace Ventura, but that we lost on you, Grease. Here's Trey Brown. Nothing doing. Amendola is now 117 for 120 career extra points. That Barry knows what I'm talking about.
Steve Levy now for the All-State Mayhem moment. There is never a bad time to promote SportsCenter. Even in the middle of a Quadri Allison 97-yard touchdown run in which he throws Vatech defenders on the ground. ACC Coastal leading Pitt wins 52-22. And Levy, while I'm at it, I'll be on SportsCenter tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern over on ESPN.
Shameless.
Self-promo there. I would have said that, Barry. It's better if it comes from me and it comes from you. All right, here we go. The missed extra point leaves us tied at 41 all. Still a ton of time left for Kennedy Brooks. And Oklahoma is out beyond the 30, gain of 18. Puts Brooks over 100 for the game.
Yep. Look at this. I mean, you got Kennedy Magruder, the safety coming down the opposite side for Oklahoma State. They can't afford to play 6 guys in the box in this 4th quarter and stop this run game.
Murray throwing to Carson Meyer. He has the first down. Edison Magruder was trying to drag him for a few extra yards on his back. Shows you the strength of Carson Meyer.
Let's just clean up that last extra point.
Yes.
By the way, I don't care if the laces are in or out. That's the kicker's job to get it through the uprights. And it's an extra point for crying out loud.
Right. And it's not the NFL extra point. Kyler Murray able to hang on to it. Did you see that at the mesh point? That was almost a whole lot of trouble at the mesh point.
You love those buzzwords, don't you?
Nub tight end.
Now you know what free access is. You're good there.
Gain of 11. That was almost disastrous for Oklahoma. Murray keeping it at the end. So hang on. So that's on. You're putting it on the holder, or you're not?
I'm trying to tell you what is supposed to happen. The holder's got to spin it, and the laces got to be up, but the kicker has to make it no matter what.
Got it. On the extra point. Kennedy Brooks taken down by Calvin Bundage. 11 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
And both of these defenses are on their heels. And this is going to be back and forth in this fourth quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if we start pushing 60 points towards the end. Crowd is yelling. They want a face mask on Calvin Bundage.
You'll see it from that look. You would agree with the crowd. Got away with it. Kennedy Brooks inside the 30, stays on his feet. Brooks picks up a block, and he is just tripped up. There is a flag down. We'll check the marker. As Kennedy Brooks is on the 10-yard line. Gain of 26. Well, I think it's coming back.
Holding offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
We've had 2 penalties on left tackle Bobby Evans. This is the first one on Cody Ford. He's going to pull around to lead for Kennedy Brooks, and his job is to get the outside of that. And that's a poor call, a really, really bad call. And I get it. When a defender goes down on the ground and you're engaged as a lineman, that's all that the official sees. But that was not a holding call.
And Mike Schwab, our director, with the excellent cutaway. Immediately, I'm thinking, show me Lincoln Riley. And Riley appears on your screen because you want to see the instant reaction. And Riley was just looking down at his call sheet. He is forever cool and calm. 2nd and 13. Under 10.5 to play. Both Sermon and Brooks in the backfield. It has to be because they're the only healthy running backs Oklahoma has. Murray does a little dance, and he's going to be spun around for a loss. Dropped in a big way. Eamon Ogbongbemiga able to make the stop.
Amen on that. Great coverage downfield. Marquise Brown is who Kyler Murray wanted to get. You're going to see he's looking downfield. Marquise Brown ends up being double covered. Here he is. This is Marquise Brown, and you see both of these defenders. That was great coverage downfield. And then Amen gets in the backfield for the sack.
Really, Amen?
That's his name.
That's his first name.
Yeah.
I'll do the first. You do the first names. I'll do the last names.
Perfect.
See how it works.
Ogbongbemiga.
Went from a first down run to 3rd and 21. And Murray is stopped by Cole Waltersheim.
Boy, and you mark this in the course of this game. That phantom holding call on Cody Ford should not have been a holding call. Brooks was down to the 10-yard line, and Oklahoma was going in for another touchdown. And instead, they go backwards and now have to punt.
So from 1st and 10. Now 4th and 24. And the punt from Seibert. Called for a fair catch and let it bounce, and they'll be downed at the 22-yard line. 8 minutes, 38 seconds left in the fourth. Regulation time.
College football on ABC is presented by Jared. Dare to be devoted. In part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
17 years ago, Oklahoma was eyeing a possible national championship matchup against Miami. Oklahoma State was 3-7. They were 27-point underdogs, down 13-6 in the fourth. Cowboys put up 10 unanswered to upset number 3 Oklahoma.
Yeah, and this is during the break, Lincoln Riley talking to the officials. He wanted that face mask call on Calvin Bundage, which I don't disagree with, and then the obvious phantom holding call on Cody Ford. But you know what? Oklahoma's not going to get the benefit of the doubt. They know that. And he's going over his defense saying, listen, this is us against the world. We're not going to get a call. We have got to dominate this last 8.5 minutes of this game to win.
So here we go. A missed extra point would have given Oklahoma State the lead. First down and 10 from their own 23. Taylor Cornelius, the quick throw, able to complete. Tyron Johnson.
If I'm Mike Gundy on the sideline after that break, I'm telling my quarterback, say, listen, you keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Be patient, take what the defense gives you. Don't turn the football over. We can move the football on these guys.
Cornelius will try the other side. That's Tylan Wallace, couldn't come up with it.
Boy, Tylan Wallace has been so good in this game. He's been so good for Oklahoma State all season. And in the fourth quarter, with the game on the line, you got to make that play.
He's been targeted 14 times tonight, Grease. 7 receptions. Johnson has 9 catches on the night. Cornelius already a career high, 448 yards passing. Fifth-year senior in his first year starting. Looking to make his mark in his opportunity, Todd.
You know, we've seen issues in the secondary all season long for the Sooners. It's been interesting to watch tonight. There have been several times where Brennan Radley-Hiles, the freshman nickelback, and Parnell Motley, number 11, who's really struggled throughout this season, have been getting after each other, yelling and screaming about communication issues. It's something to keep an eye on as we get under 8 minutes here in the fourth quarter.
Third down and 6.
Looks like a man-to-man coverage underneath and 2 deep safeties.
Cornelius gonna run for the first time, has the first down and slides across midfield.
You get that 2 deep man under, and Taylor Cornelius recognizes it, and that's exactly what you want him to do. Once that hole opens up in the defensive line, there's nobody left for the quarterback.
That was a long slide. They say he started his slide out at the 47, so not across midfield. Picked up 9 on that play.
And we talked about his ability to run the football. He's got that ability in the run game, but in the fourth quarter, when the defense gets tired, when the quarterback begins to run and use his legs, it can be a real weapon.
There's an injured player down. It's Neville Gallimore, the junior from Ontario, will step out. 7.5 to play, all tied. Welcome to Veterans Week on ABC, brought to you by USAA. With the ball spotted at the 50, we're all tied at 41. How even things are. Tonight, ACC showdown. Trevor Lawrence and number 2 Clemson. How will they handle Boston College and that BC home crowd? 8 Eastern, right here on ABC and the ESPN app. Neville Gallimore will sit out for a play. Dylan Famatu will replace him at the nose. We'll see for how long. Hubbard is blown backwards, and it is Famatu able to make the play. Welcome to the football game. Redshirt junior from Norwalk, California. And Gallimore goes right back in after limping off the field the previous play. I might have left Famatu in there.
Last time, Ruffin McNeil decided to play 2 deep man under in third down situations, and Cornelius beat him with his feet. We'll see if they decide to do the same thing here.
3rd and 7. Straight handoff up the middle to Hubbard, and he has it. And they keep pushing the pile. And that's the 60th first down, and maybe the most significant of the game to this point.
Great job by the center, Johnny Wilson. Got a block coming off the line of scrimmage. Here he is, and he's going to get up to the 2nd level. Great combo block on the linebacker, Murray. And when you're 3rd and 7 and you can just turn around and hand the football off on the inside run and get a first down, you really know all things are clicking.
Maybe they're tired of hearing you praising that Oklahoma offensive line. They want some love for that Cowboys offensive line led by Johnny Wilson. Last 2 first downs for Oklahoma State via the rush. Have the Sooners defense guessing. They'll keep it on the ground with Hubbard for 5 more. Down to the 35, and the football comes out. Let's see. Oklahoma has it. It's Kenneth Murray, and that's the first turnover of this football game with 6:09 to play and tied at 41. What a time for a turnover.
And you got 2 players still down on the field. There was a wild collision in the middle there. Hubbard got hit hard. We're going to have to go back and take a look if he was down before that football came out or whether it was an actual fumble. Again, the ruling on the field is important. They called it a fumble, but a huge play in the course of this game, obviously.
Let's watch it again. That's Gallimore, 90. Back in the game after being shaken up. He's on the bottom of that pile.
Gallimore made the hit there. The ball clearly came out and was recovered immediately by Oklahoma. And Gallimore and Hubbard are the ones that are down.
Bedlam continues. More after this. Perfect timing. You're back just in time. You're looking live now. Neville Gallimore just getting up to the ovation of the crowd. You see requiring some assistance there.
Yeah, he went down awkward, Steve. He was trying to make that tackle and looked like he got bent backwards.
Chuba Hubbard was also injured. He was the ball carrier. The football came out. On the field, they called it a turnover. The first of the game in Oklahoma's football. We got a lot to unpack here.
Let's first take a look and see what happened to Gallimore. He's there, and then he kind of gets, when Hubbard gets hit back, right, he gets bent back, and then he's down on the ground. So just hope that's nothing serious. Now let's take a look at the knee and the ball. The knee of Hubbard, circle it here when we get to the spot. Before his knee goes down, just before it goes down, looked like the ball came out. So there's the knee, and here's the ball right here coming out. So I think that was the right call on the field, barely, but the right call, and a huge swing. And the first turnover of this football game goes to Oklahoma.
We're hearing from the instant replay booth that the call on the field will stand. It will be Oklahoma football after the first turnover of the game.
And give credit to Oklahoma defensively. They were on their heels. Oklahoma State was running the football between the tackles. Hubbard was wearing them down. They were giving up third downs, and they got the turnover when they needed. It looked like it may have been Curtis Bolton that came in and ripped that football out and gave him new life.
Sooners trying to fire up their crowd. The ball at the 36. First down and 10. 6:09 to go in the fourth. Kyler Murray. Quick pass to Marquise Brown down the sideline. He's got first down yardage, and then he'll run out. Could add 3 or 4 more if he wanted. We're over 1,200 yards in total offense. The clock winding under 6 minutes left.
This is typically the time of the game where Lincoln Riley likes to lean on that offensive line in the run game to take time off the clock and to wear out defenses. They did it last week against Texas Tech in the fourth quarter.
Here's Kyler Murray. He'll be tripped up. Wound up going for a gain of about 3. Walter Scott able to get just enough of him. Brooks for first down yardage. Gain of 10 on the play.
Oklahoma State got Edison Magruder, the safety, down around the line of scrimmage, that 7th man in the box, and they're still not able to get Brooks on the ground.
Everybody's got all 3 timeouts remaining. Then we've had just 1 turnover in the game. And that's how Oklahoma got the football on this possession. Kennedy Brooks stays on his feet. Another missed tackle for Oklahoma State. There is a flag down, and Kennedy Brooks will be down at about the 2. We'll check the marker. 38 if it stands.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 1. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
Lincoln Riley approves.
Yeah, maybe that conversation he had with the officials helped out. A missed tackle by Jordan Brailford. You're going to see him. He's right here. He needs to make the play in the hole on Kennedy Brooks. This would have been a no gain. He misses this tackle, and then Calvin Bundage gets caught with the hands to the face, and Oklahoma is in business inside the 2.
Kennedy Brooks, 14 carries, 165 yards. Let's see if they give it to him here. First down and goal. From inside the 2, it is Brooks. Not going to get there. Back to the line of scrimmage. Second and goal. Clock will wind. We'll get under 4 minutes. Walter Scheid and Brailford making the tackles for Oklahoma State.
And the way this football game has gone, you know, you almost wonder if Oklahoma doesn't want to take a little time off the clock before they score this touchdown.
Cornelius will get his opportunity. He just wonders when. He waited a long time to start a football game. Another minute or 2 won't bother him. Trey Sermon is in the game now. They give it to Sermon, crashing into the end zone for the touchdown through Calvin Bundage. The game's only turnover leads to the go-ahead score. 6th-ranked Sooners by 6.
Just like a week ago at Texas Tech to seal the game, Oklahoma does it with the punishing offensive line and ground game. Kennedy Brooks, the big run to get them down inside the 5, and then Trey Sermon finishes the deal by running right over Calvin Bundage for the touchdown. You can talk all you want about the flash and Hollywood Brown and Kyler Murray running around throwing. This team is physical and nasty in the run game. That's what makes them different.
Austin Seibert. Will set to kick the extra point. The Big 12 career leader in points. On the way, and it is good. 3.5 to go in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma by 7. Go-ahead score coming off a turnover. And then it's Trey Sermon with the finishing touches. Lincoln Riley, your thoughts? We're back with more Bedlam after this. Welcome back to college football on ABC, presented by Jared. Having a good old time here in Norman, especially now. A sigh of relief with the home team up by 7 with 3:29 to go. Some people had the Cowboys as a 3-touchdown underdog. Right in the game, about to get the football. It is Hubbard, who's back in the game after being banged up. And he's out to the 29-yard line. Time now for a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
Good luck getting that in. How long is that going to take?
You got about 6 seconds, Chris. Go now.
I don't know what you're going to choose, right? The 2 quarterbacks have been unbelievable. Taylor, Cornelius, everybody's talking about Kyler Murray coming into this game, and all he's done has been outstanding. Yeah. 2 touchdowns, over 450 yards. And then Kyler Murray's been Kyler Murray. It's what he's done all year. But now, right now, Taylor Cornelius has the stage, right? Can he hold serve?
Got the model pose there with the helmet over his shoulder. Fama Atu is back in the game, replacing Neville Gallimore. Hubbard, the ball carrier.
Don't forget, too, this is a guy in Cornelius that waited 4 years to get this one shot at Bedlam. Great opportunity here with 3 minutes left.
And he doesn't have to do anything extraordinary, Todd. Just continue to run the offense like he has been.
Cornelius out to Wallace, and he's out of bounds. You know, this is unfamiliar territory for Oklahoma, Grease. Right? They're used to blowing the doors off people. They're not used to being in these tight games. Their average margin of victory is over 24 points. You know, it was the Army game in overtime. And wound up being close last week, but they're in a tough spot here, trying to protect a 7-point lead against a very good offense. Wallace on the receiving end, working on Motley.
The problem they have is these corners, Ruffin McNeil doesn't trust them to get up and play tight coverage, so they have to play off. And right now, Oklahoma State is just doing exactly what they should be doing, throwing the ball short, underneath, and methodical, and you go right down the field.
Caleb Kelly and Trey Norwood, some good defense there by the Sooners. Clock winds, the 2.5 to play.
And honestly, if I'm Oklahoma State Mike Gundy, I'm keeping my eye on the clock. I don't need to be in a rush, right? They've been so fast this game. You need to score, yes, but you also need to take time off the clock for Kyler Murray not to get back on the field.
Have all 3 timeouts. Both teams do.
Too deep again, man under. It's where the quarterback can use his legs.
2 to snap it. Just get it away in time. It's Hubbard up the middle. It's Hubbard staying on his feet. Chuba Hubbard able to go through Curtis Bolton.
This is just a cat and mouse game. If they're going to play off on the outside, he's going to throw it outside. If they play too deep, he's going to come underneath.
Gain of 20. It's Hubbard again. Running Hubbard up the middle has been their best play, their best offensive play. He's over 100 yards now.
And honestly, if I'm Lincoln Riley, I'd think about calling a timeout, give my defense a little bit of a break. I know your offense doesn't need it as much right now as your defense does. But they're actually getting an opportunity to substitute here because Mike Gundy did. Yeah, now Lincoln Riley's going to take that timeout. He sensed there was some confusion. Guys are gassed. I think that's a smart play.
Oklahoma. Their first of the half. It'll be 30 seconds in length.
Matt Barry, make it fast. You got 30 seconds.
That's a bunch of time, Steve Levy. Half the Big Ten championship is set. Clayton Thorson to Bennett Skowronek. Big Ten West champion Northwestern beats Iowa 14-10. Coming up tonight, Wyatt Ray and Boston College trying to pull the upset over Clemson at home, 8 Eastern here on ABC. Time to spare, Steve Levy.
All right, Pat, thank you. Another excellent day and night of college football here on ABC. Minute 18 left in the 4th quarter. Oklahoma did play an overtime game against Army. No overtime, not yet, so far this season for Oklahoma State. We're over 1,300 yards total offense. And you know it's going to be a play on defense that decides this game. Cornelius has the ball batted down. Looked like Amani Bledsoe might have gotten it.
Steve, they brought L.D. Brown in the backfield, who hasn't played at all in this game, and they tried to sneak him on a wheel route behind Parnell Motley, but Motley wasn't falling for it. He had leverage, and there was nowhere for Cornelius to go to throw that ball to L.D. Brown. Well done by Motley.
There is no foul for an ineligible player downfield.
There's L.D. Brown, number 7, coming out, and see the tip pass there, and there's Motley in great position, nowhere to throw that football. Brings up a 3rd and 7. You would think, obviously, 4-down territory, so you don't have to get all of it. Man-to-man across the board.
Cornelius underneath, juggled and dropped. Chuba Hubbard could not hang on. And it's 4th down. Curtis Bolton blew that play up.
It's a good throw here. Chuba Howard not able to bring it down, but I think Cornelius could have run for this 1st down, Steve. If not, at least bring up a short 4th down situation. When you see that right there as a quarterback, you have got to take it. And here's the ball game.
4th and 7. 3 timeouts. They want to think about it. Cornelius with the game in his hands. And the whistles blew. You couldn't hear it because of the crowd. There is a flag down.
I think they had a false start on Oklahoma State.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Boy, and that helps Oklahoma State because there was nobody open and nowhere to go with that football. Here he is right here. Tevin Jenkins just gets a little bit of an early start. But you can see Oklahoma looked like they stopped rushing there. They heard the whistle.
That's a great point, though. That bails out Oklahoma State.
Got to find Tylan Wallace, who's right here in the slot, who's been your go-to receiver all season long. And now Oklahoma's going to play a soft 2-deep coverage. Should be able to find windows underneath that.
Russian 3. Cornelius steps and fires, has a man, it's caught. It's Tylan Wallace indeed for the touchdown. And we are an extra point away from a tie football game. An extra point that Matt Amendola missed on his previous try, with 63 seconds left in regulation.
Wow, big time throw and catch. And when you have 4th down, take it to your best receiver. He's been there for you all season long. Great job. And now the question is, do you want to go for 2 a la
Dana
West Virginia and Dana Holgorsen? I completely agree if Gundy decides to go for 2.
3 seconds on the play clock.
Call the timeout, get the right play called, but your defense has been a sieve the entire game. And Todd, I don't know, you agree with this? I certainly do.
Absolutely, and just, you got to remember too, what's the headspace of your kicker? Amendola struggled all day, he struggled for a couple of weeks. I think you go for 2, and I don't think you think about it.
And the holder too, Todd. The holder, Matt Hockett, was one who didn't spin the ball and let the laces out. So both of those guys, although you'd like to think they could execute an extra point, you're not going to make a decision based on that. I think this is all about being aggressive. It's in Mike Gundy's DNA. He saw what Dana Holgorsen did a couple of weeks ago for West Virginia, and he's not going to hesitate.
You could read Holgorsen's lips prior to that. Go win the game is what he said to West Virginia, and they did. There was a timeout, penalty flag, had to go and do it again, but Will Greer made it happen.
And what are you going to do? You're going to put Tylan Wallace, again, probably line him up on the outside. And if he gets a one-on-one opportunity with Trey Brown, which it looks like he might, here's Trey Brown and here's Tylan Wallace, why wouldn't you throw the ball up and give him a chance?
Now, the game wouldn't be over. Oklahoma still have plenty of time. 2 timeouts and a minute 3 left. Here we go. Looking for the lead. Cornelius behind and knocked away. Trey Brown on the coverage. And the 2-point conversion fails.
I understand the design of this play, but it's a difficult throw for a quarterback. And Taylor Cornelius threw it way behind Tylan Wallace. He was there for a split second, just trying to run a quick flat. This is called sprint right option. And you get on the move as a quarterback, and sometimes your accuracy suffers, and you see that ball needs to be out here. Instead, it's back here, and it's an easy play for Trey Brown, and Taylor Cornelius knows he missed it.
Cornelius has had a brilliant game, 34 of 53. He's passed for 501 yards. And needed 2 yards there passing.
You see that if that ball was on time and out front, it's a touchdown or it's a 2-point conversion and you win the football game. Despite the fact that they didn't convert it, I like the decision.
Yes.
The execution was not right.
Hey, this is Oklahoma State's New Year's Day bowl game, New Year's Six bowl. This is their season, a chance to wreck their arch rivals for 100 years. And it will fall now on Matt Amendola again for that missed extra point. Todd.
Still an opportunity here for the onside kick. You got to have it if you're Oklahoma State.
As the guns go off, Marquise Brown and the Good Hands team able to recover the onside kick. Now there's 63 seconds left. Oklahoma State still has all 3 timeouts. There was some confusion with prior to the 2-point conversion taking a timeout. They didn't reset the play clock, and so they never had to use a timeout prior to the 2-point conversion attempt.
The issue with Oklahoma State is not the amount of timeouts, it's stopping this run game. But if they can manage to stop Oklahoma on 3 consecutive plays, not give them a first down, they'll have a little less than a minute. Get a flag here.
Zeros on the play clock. And a conversation.
Delay a game, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Delay of game defense.
That's big. When you get 1st and 5, it makes it even more difficult because 1 first down and this game's over.
That's a critical mistake. Trey Sermon. He's got the first down. Clock will stop to move the sticks. Cowboys will spend a timeout there. Take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation. How's the committee going to look at a 1-point win here by Oklahoma?
Well, listen, a win is a win, and this is a rivalry game. We knew it was going to be a tight game. I don't think that the committee, if we're looking at Oklahoma in particular, I don't think they're going to ding them for winning in this fashion. I think what they are going to look at is this Oklahoma defense. And when you compare it against, the other 1-loss teams that potentially could be there at the end, Michigan, Georgia, right? And if Washington State even, I think they're out. But I think Georgia and Michigan, when you compare it to those 2 teams, I think that's going to be the issue that Oklahoma has to overcome, is their defense.
And when we're comparing everyone to Alabama as the standard, Crimson Tide have back-to-back shutouts the last couple of weeks. That's their defense. Here's Sermon. He'll be dragged down. Calvin Bundage and a timeout. We've seen 1,342 yards of offense combined. That's the most for a game in the FBS this season.
But listen, a win is a win is a win, especially
is a win a win?
In a rivalry game like this. Listen, if I'm on the committee, right, I'm giving Oklahoma credit for this win. This is a gritty, gutty team with an unbelievable offense, an unbelievable quarterback, and one of the best coaches on the planet. Yes, they have some issues on the defensive side, but you could make arguments against Michigan offensively, too. You could make arguments against Georgia. I mean, I think it's going to be a very interesting end to this season, but Oklahoma had to take care of business here tonight. They did it. It was close, but give them credit. Give Lincoln Riley credit. They made the plays they had to win.
Final seconds will tick down. Matt Amendola, the missed extra point. We're at 48-47 with zeros on the clock.
And give credit to Oklahoma State, too. Mike Gundy with the guts to go for it in that situation. You know, people will second guess that till the cows come home, and I thought it was the right decision. And give credit to Taylor Cornelius. Played a whale of a football game, just didn't come up at the end. 500 yards of passing. Down to the field, Todd McShay.
Lincoln, you're not in a lot of these close ones. What'd you learn about your team tonight?
Yeah, we didn't have our best, and Oklahoma State, give them credit, man. They played fantastic. Quarterback played great, and yeah, we just found a way. You know, made some huge plays defensively, forced a fumble, stopped the two-point play, weren't at our best there, and then, you know, offensively were bad in the third quarter and came back, found a way to win.
You gave up a lot of yards, a lot of points, but your defense makes the play at the end. What are your impressions of your defense tonight?
We made big plays, but we got to certainly play better. You know, we gave up some big ones early, and then, you know, that makes you a little conservative after that, so we got to continue to improve.
Congratulations. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
3-touchdown underdog was Oklahoma State, and they come up 1 point short. And Oklahoma will survive and advance on. Everybody's pointing Grease to that last game in Morgantown on November 23rd.
Some points scored in that one, right? I mean, we've done Oklahoma back-to-back weeks,
yes.
The Texas Tech game, and then here tonight. I think that game against West Virginia, that's going to be just as good as these past 2 weeks have been, and it's going to be a shootout in the end, and ultimately which defense will come up with the stop.
Oklahoma wins its 15th straight game in the month of November. The Matt Amendola missed extra point out of the hold from Matt Hockett.
They'll be talking about that, and then they'll be talking about Oklahoma being one accurate pass away from being 2 losses and out of the college football playoff conversation. If this ball's thrown accurate, it's a conversion for 2 points and a win, and a huge upset for Oklahoma State inches away.
In the 113th edition of Bedlam, it goes to Oklahoma. They beat Oklahoma State 48-47. Tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC, it's Clemson against Boston College. For Brian Greasy, Todd McShay, Josh Hoffman, Mike Schwab, I'm Steve Levy. So long from Norman.